the organization, all the people, the NGO, all of them here, UNICEF, everybody here, they helping us. But we gotta help ourselves. 3 years now, I've been sitting there, I can't go to school. My brother in the bush, they're shooting, I know who is shooting. Whether I enemy or I brother, I don't know. So I beg you, if I don't want to go water today, because today I don't go water, tomorrow I fire go, tomorrow I don't fire go, then tomorrow I better go. If I don't better go, then I blast the bed. To go to school, I die as a plastic bag. Papa want to go to school, I die as a plastic bag. Yeah. When I lay my book, I will help you, mama. Oh. When I go to school, help you, Papa. Ah, Papa want to go to school. Papa want to go to school. I die as a plastic bag. Yeah. When I see my friends, I can be so jealous. Look at that full bag. Look at that uniform. Mama want to go to school. I die as a fire go. Look at my baby sister there. All day on the street, I don't know they can't like or something love from them. They all need to go to school. Mama and Grandma told me one day, when you baby holiday, she must put a 1 hour back to bathe herself. All the organization, all the people, the NGO, all of them here, UNICEF, everybody here, they helping us. But we gotta help ourselves. 3 years now, I've been sitting there, I can't go to school. My brother in the bush, they're shooting, I know who is shooting. Whether I enemy or I brother, I don't know. So I beg you, if I don't want to go water today, because today I don't go water, tomorrow I fire go, tomorrow I don't fire go. Then tomorrow I better go. If I don't better go, then I blast the bed. Mama want to go to school, I die as a plastic bag. Papa want to go to school, I die as a plastic bag. Yeah. I lay my book, I will help you, mama. Oh. When I go to school, I will help you, Papa. Ah, Papa want to go to school. Papa want to go to school, I die as a plastic bag. Yeah. When I see my friends, I can be so jealous. Look at that full bag. Look at that uniform. Mama want to go to school. I die as a fire go. Look at my baby sister there. All day on the street, I don't know they can't like or something love from them. They all need to go to school. Mama want to go to school. I die as a plastic bag. Yeah. Papa want to go to school. I die as shooting gun all day long. Mama, oh, the outside want to, my oh. Daddy. Daddy want to go to school.
Papa want to go to school. Attire setting fire go. Papa send me to school. Mama send me to school. Suya mama na ya Japan where. Sana la kare pe awon ya meji. Want to go to school. Look at my friends. Put on your uniform. Fine, book bag. Mama want to go to school. Attire sitting down all day. When I learn my book, I will help you, yeah. Papa. I want to go to school. Suya mama na ya Japan where. Sana la kare pe awon ya. When I learn my book, I will do well for you. Mama send me to school, yeah. Attire selling co-water. Attire selling plastic bag. Attire selling fire coat. Mama, yeah. Mama, oh. Mama send me to school. Papa send me to school. Attire selling ambush. Attire selling ambush. Now where fire come from, fire will blaze. I want the fire to blaze only the part so I can eat rest and go to school and learn something. Papa wanna go to school. Attire selling plastic bag. Yeah. Mama wanna go to school. Attire selling plastic bag. Yeah. Papa want to go to school. Attire setting fire go. Daddy want to go to school. Attire holding gun. When you do one thing one time, you gotta stop it now. Every day you try one place, you can make soup. Plastic bag. Daddy want to go to school. Attire setting fire go. Attire. Daddy want to go to school. Papa want to go to school. Attire setting fire go. Papa send me to school. Mama send me to school. Suya mama na ya Japan where. Sana la kare pe awon ya meji. Want to go to school. My friends, put on your uniform. Fine, book bag. Mama want to go to school. Attire sitting down all day. When I learn my book, I will help you, yeah. Papa. I want to go to school. Suya mama na ya Japan where. Sana la kare pe awon ya. too well for you. Ah, mama sent me to school, yeah. Ataya selling cold water. Ataya selling plastic bag. Ataya selling fire coat. Ah, mama, yeah. Ah, mama, oh. Mama sent me to school. Papa sent me to school. Ataya selling ambush. Ataya selling ambush. Now where fire come from, fire will blaze. I want the fire to blaze only the pastor I can eat rest and go to school and learn something. Papa wanna go to school. Ataya selling plastic bag. Yeah. Mama wanna go to school. Ataya selling plastic bag. Papa want to go to school. Ataya selling fire coat. Daddy want to go to school. Ataya holding gun. When you do one thing one time, you gotta stop it now. Every day you try one place, you can make so.
And so, yes, indeed, I want to go to school. I'm tired of selling plastic bag. I'm tired of selling cold water on the street. I'm tired of riding motorbikes around. I want to go to school. The late James Dopo or June Dopo with that beautiful piece of song here this evening. Again, folks, would like to say welcome to the Heat Tower here on BKS Television. Those of you watching us via Facebook and YouTube, would like to say welcome. Those of you listening to us via radio in Bluetooth town or its surrounding, would like to say welcome to the Heat Tower here on BKS Television. On the Heat Tower, we say dialogue and our confrontation. We say words and our bullets. My name is Junior Payne, and of course, I'm here with Shadrach Tobe, the change agent. Of course, we're going to be joined subsequently by the rest of the folks, Prentice Doma, DK Way, Evanso Wongbo, Aloysius Yawobumi, Ellis Lord Dennis, and the rest of the folks going to be joining us here this evening. We hope to be in conversation with Councillor Tiawan Se Gonglu. We hope to be in conversation with Councillor Tiawan Se Gonglu here this evening on the Heat Tower. Again, folks, we'd like to say welcome to the show. Those of you just joining, please help to share the show with other people. Invite somebody to listen alongside you here this evening. Shadrach, good evening. Welcome to the show, Chief.
Good evening, Junior, and good evening to our listening audience out there through Radio Land, through via internet. Thank you so much for the connection and getting to our people, so we share knowledge with each other.
Thank you for joining here this evening, Shadrach. We hope and pray that our panelists will be joining us very shortly. Before we go to what's on your mind, let's bring you big story shortly. The Liberia National Police, according to information, they are suspend 4 police officers in Bong County, including the county commander. Why these people were suspended? They were suspended based on several different reasons. The 4 officers of the Liberia National Police assigned in Bong County were suspended, including the county commander, Fasu V. Sharif, for various administrative breaches. Commander Sharif was suspended for 1 month for reportedly allowing commercial and private vehicles to interroad into the presidential convoy while it was returning from Grand Jide to Monrovia at night, following the reburial and burial of former President Samuel K. Doe and his wife. So there were a couple of them that were suspended, and there were so many different reasons given for the commander. They say he was suspended because he didn't follow superior order by allowing, he allowed commercial vehicles to join the convoy of the president. So he was suspended for 1 month without pay. And again, the National Election Commission today signed, let's say they reaffirmed their decision, the Farmington Declaration. They reaffirmed that today between the candidates in Buyao, Nema County. So again, folks, would like to say welcome to the show. Welcome to all of you who just joining us. Welcome to our people of Buyao, the people of Yahweh Meslon, the people of Buyendoru, the people of Blow Downplay, the people of your Butu, the people of your Goma Play, the people of your Dia Play, the people of Lepula, and the rest of the towns in the district. We'd like to say welcome to the show here this evening. Shadrach, let's hear from you. What's on your mind?
All right, Junior. So today, I'm kind of excited because it's another achievement in this administration, which I'm part of. So today, the Liberia Telecommunications Authority and the government of Sierra Leone and the La Côte d'Ivoire, the three countries, embarked on free roaming collaboration. So today was the signing ceremony between La Côte d'Ivoire and Liberia at the Bedekasa Hotel. I was fully part of that program. The program runs for 3 days, today, tomorrow, and the day after. Tomorrow will also be the launch of free roaming between Liberia and that of Sierra Leone. So what this means for our people is, the same way you make a local call in Liberia, if you are now calling Ivory Coast, the same, no charge, you will pay. If you are 10 cents in Liberia, I think 10 cents. But before then, if you're calling Ivory Coast, it's an international call where the call is so more expensive, sometimes 50 cents per minute or data as per the country regulations. But to break that barrier between the West African countries, so Liberia as members, one of the members of the West African states, also partaking the West African agreement that has to do with free roaming to enhance the movement of people, business people, and our people are, we are intermarriages from country to country. Somebody is living in Liberia, even making fun in Africa, somebody living in Liberia making fun in Sierra Leone. So this brings release to our people in terms of hard charge, in terms of making call between the both countries. So while waiting for our guests today, comes to the Tiawan Gonglu, one of the seasoned politicians in our country, a highly integrated person, with all respect. That is what I achieved today in my profession as IT and a staff of Liberia Telecommunications Authority. I'm proud and also happy to bring this kind of release to our people through the work we all do as through collective effort at the regulatory arm of telecommunication. So again, there's a couple of things happening in the country, like a lot of rumors, whether it's true, have been achieved. The people making laws that GFK cancer or free treatment for children under 5 years, and other people, activists, the Martin Corley, writing the president to bring back the free treatment for children under 5 years, which I have not confirmed personally as individual, but the right out is there on social media, everybody discussing it. So I don't know the implications of that and what that means to the government also, and why they cancel it if it was true, and what. So we will look all into those things and see the benefits to the hospital, the government hospital, and also the impacts to the public. So far, so good. While waiting for our counselor, these are things on my mind this evening. All in all, I'm excited to announce to you what I just said is official. Thank you so much, Junior.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. I mean, the news from LTA is a very brilliant one. It's a really, really good news for our people, especially those that have family member in Ivory Coast and Sierra Leone. And in fact, those that have business partners in Ivory Coast. Sometimes you don't need to even go there again because you just have to stay right there in Liberia, call where you can buy goods from, and then you let the person know that I will be sending XYZ person to come and take goods for me to bring it to Liberia. So it's really a good news for our country, and it's a good news for citizens that have connection with this country. We appreciate the government for that, and we hope and pray that it will be extended to almost all of the West African countries pretty soon. So with the issue involving JFK, I think they had an official press statement out that they deny that they have not increased any other thing at the, because we've been seeing a couple of posts around that JFK have increased some basis C-section price at the hospital there, where they talk about the admission fees. If you are going there for 1 to 5 days, it's $25. But recently, JFK came out, I think few hours ago, 2 hours ago, they came out that they have never added any other special fees to those things. So it's not true. All right, let's welcome to the show here this evening, Siawete Sogetua. Siawete, good evening, welcome, Chief.
Good evening, Engineer, and good evening to listener in Radio Land and fellow panelists on the show. We are happy to be back this evening to discuss training issues in our country.
Let's say again, welcome to the show. I'm trying to get to DK. That's why I'm a little bit off and on. But let's hear you what's on your mind this evening, Chief.
Yeah, I think you touched some of the training issue in the country, where you see Facebook is flooded with a lot of opinions on the issue of the issue with JFK, with the maternal situation, where political opponents and oppositions are making their position on that. When I saw that publication, I actually got shocked because maternal situation in our country is one of the high level of death when it comes to delivery. So for JFK, that is the most higher referring hospital in the country, to make such publication, it was actually shocking. And besides the issue about delivery, sometimes you are between life and death, meaning they are talking about C-section, attaching fees to them, and all of that. And it was done, but based on the pressure from the public, and they came out for disclaimer this evening that they did not outright say they didn't do. They said they were reviewing. I saw the communication they published. They said they were reviewing to consider that. So that means they already made a decision, and they try to get a view of the public. And the issue of health in our country is actually challenging, meaning for childbirth at that point, to charge you maybe around $90. Some days $25, $90, and before someone attend to you for giving birth, I think it is actually it is actually shocking, and the Ministry of Health also need to look at those points, because I don't know the reason for why they are doing that. Is it actually for JFK? Is it that they are funded? That's the problem. So there are a lot of issues. Probably that could be some of the reason, but carrying someone to hospital and then they are requesting you to pay to do a deposit before they attend to you, I think is unfortunate. So better health care. The president made those, promises to the Liberian people, so we cannot sit and look at those things happening. And with the issue of the traffic management as well, in few weeks, it has been a blooming situation in the country where, employees at the Ministry of Transport have been protesting. They have laid out a lot of reasons, and the lower house also made, communication to the executive for, to put a temporary, suspension on that, because they are laid out a lot of reasons that the Liberian transport management, if they take over, Liberians will lose job, and some of them argument, though, are not going through the full, concession, but some of them argument is that the 25-year or 20 years agreement is around 40 million, but then their argument is Ministry of Transport raised around 12 million a year to 10 million as revenue. So if you give a contract to government, in fact to a private company, where the company in that time, so there are a lot of conversations. So to them, the money is small, and in fact, they will be losing jobs. So that's why those protests are being around the place. So while we host the learned counselor tonight, we are set and ready to learn from his, a reservoir of knowledge tonight, and being one of Nima and Liberia best. It will be a good show tonight. Thank you, Gina.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's welcome to the show Ellis Lord Dennis. This information, they say where there is fire, there is always smoke. We will be able to discuss that GFK thing a little bit and see to it that whether it is necessary for that increasement or it is not necessary. We'll discuss that a little bit. But let's welcome to the show Ellis Lord Dennis. Ellis, Ella, good evening and welcome to the show. You are muted, Chief.
You muted me.
Yeah. Honorable Koga said I should tell you hello. He asked for you last night, but you were absent.
Well, I was absent. You made me absent.
No, it wasn't me. When I checked in the back again, I didn't see you.
How long was I there for?
Like, I think 15 or 20 minutes.
You lie. You lie. I was there for more than 2 hours.
Okay, my apologies to you, Chief. Welcome to the show. Let's hear you what's on your mind this evening.
Oh, thank you. I was so discouraged a few minutes ago that somebody talking?
No.
Oh, okay. A few minutes ago, they were naming about 31 fake colleges and university school in Liberia. They are offering bachelor, associate, and some certificates in health science, computer, and other things. And these schools have been operating for quite a while now. But my question is, why are they realizing that these schools are operating in the country without the Ministry of Education being aware of it? They are taking money for from children who are hustling really hard to have some solid education, but they are going to a school that is not recognized, that their degree cannot be accepted in anywhere to get job. So it's something that is discouraging. It's something that we all have to look out for before we spend for nothing money. Thank you.
Thank you, Ella. You see, that you raise a very good point when the Commission on Higher Education came up with the first listing that time. We discussed it here, and I was confused of the other schools that have graduated people. Like, for example, they named some schools around the red light area that have graduated students, and they said these schools, they were not up to standard, so they closed them. I was very concerned whether they were going to revoke these people documents or not. But again, it's Liberia. It's hard to say. Shadrach, we're coming to you shortly. Let's welcome to the show Aloysius Yaubumi. Aloysius, let's give you 1 minute 30 seconds. What's on your mind this evening? Aloysius, you are muted.
Nothing much. Thank you so much for having this show once again. And, this show is unique. Nothing much on my mind this evening, except that the strangers, a lot of strangers in our district right now, like Zapiri and the rest of the guys just moving from place to place as if they are, determining factor for Booyah elections. So we hope that people will not be moved by the borrow crowd or the transported crowd. Because those people, they are not from Booyah, they just passing from village to village, blocking traffic, and causing so much attention. So we hope that, our people will see them and they know what they're up to. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Aloysius. Let's welcome to the show Mr. Mafasin and David. Good evening, Chief, and welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
What's on your mind this evening? Let's hear you shortly.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you. I think what is on my mind has to do with the kind of image we present of our country, especially Liberians in the diaspora. Liberia is the only country we have. That's where we can proudly say this is our home. In as much as we want the best for our people, for our government, sometimes the presentation that the different Liberians, the different communities do in their respective shows and stuff like that, it presents a very negative image of our country. And as such, we become a problem instead of becoming a solution to the problem. Once you present your country in such a negative fashion, then you can't expect any good to come into your country in terms of investment and stuff like that. And the second thing, many a times, our young people complain of no job, but the mindset and the work ethic, sincerity, those are things that must first of all be cultivated before you can think of a job. Because if you were to entrust somebody in Liberia with a cent to manage, the story would be different. If you were to tell a young person, okay, you're complaining of a job, I can open a store and this would be the salary managed so that it can be a business that you will benefit from as a job and I will benefit from as a business, the outcome will be different. So young people should prepare themselves, ready themselves, should be sincere, focused, and independent. It's not all about formal education or degree education, but when you are sincere, when you are committed, you can get yourself somewhere. So make a better image of your country, be a good ambassador. Young people, be sincere, be focused, be committed. That's what I'm in mind.
Thank you so much. While we wait our guests to come, Shadrach, let's hear you wanted to say something shortly before we go to
I just want to address Eric's comment quickly. I did a few corrections. So, what happened in Liberia in terms of fake universities around the country, it started way back. These are some of the reasons we'll be speaking against that people in education sector should not open school, because they will bend the rules for regulations. So most of these schools you see so that people who been into government opening schools without meeting the requisite requirements for open universities because they in power, so they do anything they want to do. So with the coming in of Dr. Edward Munkayo with the academic standard and innovative ideologies, put into place a regulation for every higher institution within the country. That's how they are now tracking down some of these fake universities, some of the requirements they don't meet or staff, some of them they don't have the infrastructure, the environment. So these are some of the things that they are being disqualified for. But again, what you said is right. But actually, it's not fully on education, but higher education regulates university. Education is a board member of either tier or something that for that. So it's still long because people in higher authority have been the one opening these schools without going through the regular channel. These are some of the reasons. There have been other reasons I did not know personally because I'm not educated like other people who grew up in that sector. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I say something to that?
Yes.
All right, thank you. I think the issue is complicated. Is kind of both government, people, and the society. I think when you look at the revised higher education policy on establishing higher education institution, is clear. It's a process. It is not as it was before, where you have to, go through all of the regulations and rules, and everything should be met before you are open. Now you can open, and then the commission work alongside the institution to take it to status. And when you try to talk about status, talk about quality and everything in the higher education industry, it comes with a whole laundry list of stuff. And when you even look at the very government institution that's supposed to be the model through which other private and faith-based institutions can be measured by, it's again a contrary case because there are a lot of things missing and stuff like that. And because those institutions are government and chartered, it makes it difficult. I remember when I was working with the Commission on Higher Education, a director for research and planning. If you look at the policy and you want to do evaluation, monitoring evaluation, you go to University of Liberia, as a case study, and you look, and everything that is on books is nowhere near. When you close the University of Liberia, governments, only biggest, public institution that is catering to the mass base of our society, it becomes a difficult thing. So Liberia's thing is difficult. Sometimes people just make statements from the surface, but it's a people problem, government's problem, and individuals' problem. And sometimes institutions that are individually driven or faith-based, sometimes they have all of the requirements. The politics to it again is another thing. But I'm grateful that, as you say, I've never followed or worked with Dr. Nwankeye or have seen some of the institutional reformation. But people like that on board, it will help to strengthen our system and move on. Monitoring is one thing. Government budgeting is another thing. You have a monitoring division that do not have car. How do they go to TU, for instance, to go and monitor? So the whole thing of education, for our educational system to be overhauled, to be to the status where quality will be an excellence, government has to be hugely involved. Budgeting has to be upgrade. So there are a lot more things. Thank you.
Thank you so much. While we still expect the guests to arrive in the back, I know DK is working on that. I want us to briefly discuss this GFK rebuttal statement today. If you follow a couple of news outlets in Liberia, there were some documents out that GFK have increased the fees of some essential medical work at the hospital. So coupled to that, GFK came up with a statement that they have not done so. But then this was a document that was under review. So the hospital administration, those in charge of those things like the lab, C-section, all of that, they submitted this to the hospital administration and it was under review. But then the document came out prematurely. Now, I want us to dive into this thing. Do you really think it's okay for a little fees to be attached to, seeking medication in our country, looking at our current status, looking at the way our people are, looking at the income of our government? Do you think it's okay for a little fees to be attached to our hospitals, our medication in Liberia? Now, for example, people could get medical insurance, all of those things. So I really want to hear from you on this before we bring Councillor Gonglo on. He's in the back already, but then I don't think his camera is on, so we will hold him for now until he put his camera on and we can start the discussion with him. But let's hear you on this one first. Let's start with you, Shadrach, while we try to usher in Councillor Gonglo with the proper procedure. Shadrach, let's hear you. Maybe 1 minute, we can have your say on this.
Yeah, briefly, Junior, I will partly agree with the government. A little fee, maybe it could be either 300 or 400 across to enable the hospital, other hospitals, especially in the hinterland of country. Sometimes you go to the hospitals, nothing at all, and the centralized budget that they depend on from the government to even reach them is a severe case. So with that, it could help the administrator in that particular hospital to buy even needle or the sanitary material to be used for the safety of the same patient. So we are not saying that government should carry fees or should charge citizens exorbitantly for medical bill whatsoever. But again, it's wrong when the hospital is running freely without any contribution at all from the public. It's not that hinder the operation. My government has not yet released any budget. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shadrach. Siawiti, let's hear you on this.
Hold on. So the OMSA at the back?
No, his camera is not on, so we can't bring him. You got to text him that when he joins, he should enable his camera and his mic. So please text him again. Once he joins, we'll leave this topic for a while and go to him. Siawiti, let's hear you 1 minute.
Yeah, Gina, I think I made my position from the beginning of the show. I mean, basically every Liberian, we hope that we have a free, medical center or facility where citizens will go to and be looked up to for treatment. But with the issue of maternal issue where we say birth, I think in my mind the JFK, they did not study the situation well because they are the first referral hospital. I listened to Sadra talking about in the hinterland, but we are discussing Morovia, JFK. I mean, to be charging a pregnant woman $90 before, you speaking to me? Yeah, before attempting to the patient to me, I mean, it was actually shocking to me when I saw that. But like I made my position, I mean, when you are pregnant, you even go to the hospital for delivery, you are between life and death. All of us here, we came through mothers and we know what they went through. But to me,
so Siawiti, I will ask you a few questions on this. I think this is not only for JFK. It's only because that JFK document came out prematurely. But I'm hearing information that this is applied to almost all of the government hospitals. I think.
I mean, it could be, but I'm giving reference to what I saw.
Yeah, so the medical doctor of George Way Halley Hospital in Sannicole, I reached to him today, asking for his schedule to appear here to discuss this issue. But he told me he was going to get back to me. But I'm pretty sure this is taking part in all of the general hospitals within the country, because according to information, the reason why they are doing this is because the government just bring in new consignment of equipment. So they have to maintain this equipment and all of that.
I cut you off. I cut you off. The reason I invited even the county health administrator that oversees even the hospital, Ellis Man, is to discuss the issue.
So,
Ellis sent it to a peer, and I put in the group chat, but the CEO and the management, they are not responding. Yeah, they saw my post in the group chat.
So, Siawete, you went to school outside, and you know maybe you visited a hospital here, and you know that almost all of the citizens even got health insurance. So I think, let me hear you on this. Do you think it is really okay for it to be applied everywhere? Maybe at the end of the year, they can say, okay, every citizen you have to pay 5,000 or 10,000 in the government account. You can get treatment from anywhere at any time. Once you get your card, you can take it to a clinic, you can take it to a hospital, you can take it anywhere you want to take it. Once you got insurance, you will get medical attention. Drugs. But let's let you to conclude on this. Then
we got some discussion to be made. We just received stuff that we need to get to the real topic. But as it is, for me, that's a decision of the Ministry of Health or JFK. But to me, in my mind, it is not time to end. Maybe in the future that could be when there's a reform. Mind you, all those things we are talking require funding of the institutions, because JFK is doing that. They are not doing that only because they want to charge or maybe citizens, but it is due to some constraint as well. Sometimes when we are also criticizing, we also need to get to the meat of the situation, where the causes and the challenges too they are faced with. So that would be another thing. But on the overall, in my mind, I think maternal issues should not even be to that point. So for me, that's what I can say.
Thank you. DJ, okay, I think he's trying to get better now, because I just see that his mic is on a little bit. Let's see whether his camera will come on from this end. Good evening, Councillor Gonglo. Welcome to BKS Online Television.
Good evening. How are you, gentlemen?
We are doing great. Can you please check on your camera? We are not seeing you.
Well, my phone here is saying that you can let me in. Is that that you can put on my camera? I'm having some challenge here.
Yeah, so once you enter in the studio, they will ask you that your camera and your mic, you should enable them, and then you just click on that. It will automatically.
Oh, John, you put it up in the back?
Not me. Not me.
I think other people really, I don't know, because it's not working on my computer anymore. If I send a link to my computer to do it from my computer, it's not allowing me anymore. It will always request for the camera stuff and the camera and everything on.
You gentlemen are
hello? Yeah.
Yeah, you're BRT, I'm DBT, not before technology,
The council location is a little bad. Council, let me put you in the back, then you can rejoin again. Just click the link and rejoin. I beg you. Yeah, the Papa getting old
So
now.
what can be happening to internet and Facebook when we get important people there can be behaving like this?
The Papa getting old now, so you know, when people getting old, all the things are associated with that.
I mean, the SSR Omega do you can't do one, you can't do one set. That make you get 250 push every day.
So
Yeah.
why are you talking to me when you go into the gym every day? You can't do the push up the Papa doing. Me, I
I
don't
mean,
go
man,
to
I'm a
the gym.
mentor, but I'm a mentor there. Because that's I want to go grow. So there's a way they all may have some video that you give him push on, he gets some video. So Joe check it, they be playing it while we are with the home with the home. Everyone see it all going on the screen giving push up.
Yeah,
So I will play the old man music, campaign music, in fact.
wow.
Man, the woman like that BBC, bon before computer, if the camera come on that to him.
You can hear me, right?
Yeah,
We
can
hear
hear
you, Uncle. Are you using computer?
No, I'm using my phone.
On phone might be easy, so the phone showing any place or camera.
It has a camera, but there's a fuse. There's a line fuse in it.
Is he in Monrovia?
I mean, voice time.
Okay.
That was my giving. But I was trying with the
I'm coming educator. He coming educator again. Yeah, so somebody we're having. Can we check on whether it comes from our end?
No, it's
People would love to see you on the
I don't know
camera.
what else to touch, yeah.
Just touch the camera itself. When you get out, I think the camera line. I think the camera you see a line cross inside.
There's a line crossing, so I tried.
Yeah, touch it. He's gone.
He touching the off, how they call it,
Yeah.
button, set the camera.
Don't touch the mute button. Just tap the camera button itself.
The lead button is, you know, it always red with white arrow in it.
Yes.
The
When I
camera
touch,
button is like a video.
I see it. When I touch it, when I touch it, then the audio, it cuts off the audio. That's the problem.
Touch it again. Let's see something. If it doesn't work, we'll speak to you like this.
Yeah,
He's taking
So,
the mute button to be the camera.
Yeah. TK, you are muted.
When Uncle Tiago come back, then he restart. Uncle, he able to restart the phone?
Another solution, D.
Let me restart the phone, maybe.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So,
y'all look for the women music that be playing it.
See everything you went in the back to eat. I beg you, just eat peacefully. I beg you.
D, what I haven't talked to you about Saturday.
D is muted. So Bobby, let's hear you on this while we try to get Councillor Tiawan music to play here on the show. Do you think it's necessary that fees be attached to our medical facilities in the country?
All right. It's a critical thing or critical decision to take. When they say fee be attached to the medical, that yes. But when they come up with delivery, then it make it a bit hard. There is no hospital in the world that people don't pay fees to. But Liberia, the way it is, we don't have the Medicare facility. When they say like Medicare, which is where am I? Everybody get this card we call Medicare card. So the Medicare card, if you go to any hospital, if you are a patient or like old person, you have a discount of those Medicare cards. When you are a student, you have different rates. It depends where you find yourself. But it's something that you pay, but it's not like exorbitant amount of money because the government subsidizes the amount of money you're supposed to pay as well. You and the government divide the money into two. You pay half, the government pay half. And they send you those bills. They not say when you can't, if you don't get it, we will not treat you. But yes, because the hospital have to run. So when we say it should be free completely, then we stand around and come back and say, oh, the government is not doing nothing, the government don't get money, the government not doing this. But they're putting the same money into that other place. Look at the budget that we have in Liberia. So yes, but they have to find a way to do it so everybody can get across the board, where they have the Medicare system or a fixed amount of money. But when somebody that comes from the village that have nothing, you say the person should pay $25. Then the person living over pay $25. We understand. But if there's a way that they can set it up, we should do it every year or some form of means of putting it there that people will put in money, whether you take, like here, whether you take, you don't take, they deduct the money from you. Whether you go to the hospital, you don't go to the hospital, they take the money from you. The day you will get ready to go there, they will not ask you. They definitely follow insurance.
Thank you. The council is here. I think we can just speak to him like this because he left again.
But can we just put the pictures on the screen and then give him a phone call?
Of course.
Okay, maybe that's what we do.
Yeah, put a picture on the screen and then we talk to him on the phone.
So DK, you can tell him, let him just join like that. We'll put his picture on the screen, and we speak to him just like that. Tell him to just click on the link and join. So while we stay awake, Councillor Gonglo will be on this issue. Let's hear from you, Mr. Malphas, and let's welcome to the show to Prentice Doma.
It's a difficult thing to talk about because a bulk of the things that can take us to conflict sometimes when you study it strategically, you get to realize or you get to know that, you know, people who making that decision are not wrong. As a man, to pregnant a woman, you should start to prepare for the aftermath of it, because no hospital can run in the absence of resources. There must be resources, without which it makes it difficult. Because to do delivery, you got to use equipment, and when the equipment's finished, it got to be replenished. And government do not have that resource basket to make everything just virtually free. We will have to start to look at other models of communities that are ahead of us and communities that are just graduating from our league, and try to proffer a solution mechanism that will be able to adequately respond to some of these things. For me, I have been one person who believed that major facilities should be privatized and try to work towards creating a valid and very responsive insurance system that, you know, both of these things can relate to, because you have an insurance scheme and you educate people properly, even though I know it's difficult because a lot of people are not on job, and for the fact that a lot of our people are not working, it makes it difficult for them to even pay their insurance charge. But I think we got to look for a starting point and grow with it. When you started and educate, gradually people will start to be very responsible and respond to some of these things. So it's difficult. It's not just a catch-one, catch-all situation. I can't say make it totally free. I can also say put a huge fees charge so as to be able to enable the hospital administrator to run. there got to be a think tank kind of a thing that will look through some of these things and proffer solution that will help graduate us from one stage to another. That's how I see it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Matheson. Aloysius Yao Bomi, let's hear you on this. Do you think that government should attach fees to hospital facilities or medications in the country?
Like everyone is saying, it's difficult to say, but I left Liberia for a while now, and I don't know whether our hospitals of current government hospital of current is totally free. Is it totally free? I'm not too sure it's totally free. Even at JFK, people are still paying money. People are not just going getting drugs free, coming home, staying online to get their free medications or treatment. So I don't know what extra fees or new fees they are talking about. But even as it is right now, people it's getting difficult for our citizens. Even though we all know that our hospital is not free, but as it is right now, there are still difficulties. People are going to hospital, they are being denied because they don't have money. There's no money to pay. Some people go to hospital, they give them medication list to go outside the pharmacy or outside the hospital to buy medication. And some of them don't even have that money. Like I can remember one of the hospitals across. I saw something on Facebook. Some people went to give birth, and there were argument as to the other person who should be on a shift, who started the work, was not there, and then the lady has to wait for the main person who started the surgery or the treatment to come. And one lady was
Aloysius,
yeah.
Aloysius, I beg you, let's show you that we'll come to you after. Councillor Gonglo, welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we're gonna have you like this because we cannot keep telling you to put a camera on when it's giving you difficulties. We'll put your picture on the screen so that those that are following us will know that we are in conversation with you tonight. So let's once again welcome you to the show.
Thank you very much.
Great. To begin with the conversation, we want to go strictly to who Councillor Gonglo is. I mean, your education background, where you hail from, and let's start the conversation from there.
Well, I'm Glaze of here. Glaze of here located in Yahoo Municipal Statutory District. I went to school in Nimba, from Ganta to Tapata to Maryland. Then I ended up in then when I graduated from University of Liberia, I started teaching.
Target. Wow.
I went to do law, and I was executive assistant to Dr. Sawyer. I was the first trained human rights advocate.
Councillor Gonglo, your network is really, really bad. We're not getting you.
Let me change my location, maybe.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you sound a little bit better. Okay, let's hear you.
All right. Yeah, so I don't know how much I can say about myself. That's a whole book. Well, I've been teaching, I've taught at the university. I'm now teaching law. I was executive assistant to Dr. Amos Sawyer in the early 1990s. I was Solicitor General under President Sirleaf, became Minister of Labor, resigned from government 15 years ago, and I've been practicing law and teaching law. I became I ran in 2023 as one of the presidential candidates in the 2023 race. I lost and returned to the classroom. I'm teaching. That's what I'm doing.
That's great. Let's now go strictly to your professional background. You are a counselor. I mean, many young people in Liberia dream of becoming a lawyer, but the monopoly over the law school in Liberia, or recent, we saw so many write-ups on Facebook, and we were hearing that there were law school being established in a country, another law school. But let's take you to this one. Why is it that the law school that you teach currently, you guys have a policy of you being a bachelor degree holder first, or having your first degree before enrolling into the law school?
It was based on the experience of the law school. When law profession started in this country, it was an apprenticeship profession. People used to work in law firms, become clerks, and then gradually get admitted to the practice of law based on recommendations of the people, the lawyers that they work under. Then the law school was opened. When the law school was opened, there were not many university graduates in Liberia. So they used to allow people go to the university like pre-law and do 1 or 2 years and then enter law school. That's how people that elect Chief Justice Blazer, Patrick Beto, and many of the earlier lawyers, went to law school. They spent 1 or 2 years at the University of Liberia and got admitted into the law school. When apparently the standard dropped, then the university increased the requirement and said, look, we need bachelor degree holders in terms of writing and speaking English. They will be more ready after the university degree to enter the law school. I know that in our neighboring countries, there are people just completing, the 2 law as a first degree. Ghana, even Rwanda, many countries around. But the law school here required a bachelor degree, and I'm saying that it was based upon apparently the drop of the standard at the university was dropping, because before it just used to be first year, second year, and then you go to law school.
So is there any means that you can suggest to maybe the board so that this can be changed? Because a lot of students in Liberia wants to enroll in the law school, but this is holding them back. To go to university, get your first degree from there before you go to law school, it takes time.
No, that is really not a problem right now, because the number of university graduates in Liberia is so high. Many of them trying to enter, and some can't make it because there's an entrance exam that is given. And so I know and passed the 3rd time, and now he's a lawyer, he's a counselor at law. So if you don't pass the entrance, you can't enter. And now we have potential law school students is not an issue. Entrance will come. Now we have 2 law schools now. I teach at both of the law schools. My good friend Kwame Clement, the celebrated journalist that most people I don't know I've heard of, is a lawyer, graduated from the law school in 1984, University of the Louis Arthur Graham School of Law, and he went to America and did another law degree. He worked in America as a lawyer for many years. He came here and with some friends in America has opened a law school, and one of those teaching in that law school is going to be a great law school as well. Many of the professors who teach at the Louis Arthur Graham School of Law also teach at that law school. For example, I teach criminal law and criminal procedure law. Granting program. So
Council, your network is really, really bad. We are not hearing you again.
hello. Wow.
Okay, you are a little bit okay now.
So I'm changing my position. You can hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I'm saying there's an alternative law school now.
Mm-hmm.
And there are many people trying to go to that law school. I'm also teaching at that law school.
Okay, great. Now let's go to this recent executive order by the President of the Republic of Liberia, Executive Order 151. What's your stand on this?
Well, I've given my stance. You know, I've been advocating for value addition to raw materials since 1847, even before 1847, before our independence. We were exporting wood, palm oil, malaguda pepper, and other raw materials to Europe and America. Up to now, we are still exporting raw materials. Under President Talbot, there was an attempt to change the situation a little bit. You know, we had Vampla in Sino that was exporting plywood. We had Lipsuko in Maryland that was producing sugar and exporting sugar. We had some other import substitution industries in the country, like shoe factory and matches factory and all of that. And the President Talbot created a free zone that was meant to give incentive for people who are manufacturing in the country. We were refining petroleum in the country. We were getting crude oil, and oil refinery was actually refining oil. All of that stopped in the 1980s, and it was made worse during the war. So I'm one of those who have been advocating for creating factories, you know, promoting manufacturing of products from Liberia, because value addition brings greater revenue and also creates jobs. So I was very happy when the president issued that executive order, but with a caveat that the executive order should not be only meant for major companies in the country to airball out smaller rubber buyers. If it is meant for just protecting processed rubber, as Firestone did before, as Cocopa, LAC, and other companies did, then that is not it. I am supporting because it said it's the beginning of industrialization. So I'm looking at the government ensuring that tires, condoms, what do you call it, the sanitary gloves will be produced here. You know, sanitary gloves, we didn't have sanitary gloves here, or they were in short supply, and many of our doctors and nurses died during the Ebola. So how can we be producing natural rubber and then don't have those things that are produced out of natural rubber? I want the president to continue to expand this executive order to include wood. We've been exporting wood from the time we're independent. Let Liberia become a furniture exporting country, not a log exporting country. And then we can go on to iron ore by encouraging or giving incentive to companies to build a steel plant in Liberia. That thing about concentrator is old news because we have a concentrator in bomb mines before the war. We had a pelletizing plant in Buchanan before the war. So they are not, you know, breaking news at all to me. The breaking news would be that a steel plant is being built in Liberia because that would be adding value to iron ore. So that's why I applauded the president for issuing an executive order, because it's going to create jobs. It's going to increase our revenue because we'll be selling value, finished products from rubber. That is what I believe will be the result of that executive order. Anything other than that is something that many of us will condemn.
Now, this will be my last question on this. Then we'll go to the other panelists to ask you on the issue. Similar executive order was issued by former President George Manuel Weah, and many local rubber brokers in Lima and other counties protest against that. Now, having the same executive order coming again in 2025, what do you think would be the difference?
Well, I read about industrialization, and so I had just spoken. If you read my speech delivered to the Liberians in Australia, I said, look, we need to start exporting raw materials and add values to the products that come out of Liberia. And it wasn't long after, and then I even went when the president declared fast and prayer day. If you heard my comment, I said, we want practical solutions, policies, we want policies, not prayers. We want factories, not fasting. And not long after that, Executive Order 151 was issued. And so I embraced it. My understanding was that the executive order that was issued under President Weah, I think the intent was to protect major rubber companies that had processing plants only to refine the rubber just a little bit, remove the impurities, but export it still as raw materials. It is I believe that this executive order is aspirational, that it intends to restrict the exportation of raw materials and to transition from exporting raw materials to adding value by creating finished products from natural rubber here, from the rubber that is produced here. If it doesn't happen that way, then it's fruitless, it's useless, and we'll condemn it. We cannot keep exporting natural rubber and purchasing finished products made from natural rubber produced here at higher prices. It's wrong. You cannot take rubber from here and be producing tire in Kenya and other places. Liberia is ideal for building plants to produce rubber and finished products from rubber and be selling tires and other things from here. That is what we should push on. So I was happy that he issued the executive order. I mean, the young man in Burkina Faso is showing that what governance is. I think we can do the same thing here. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. Let's go to the rest of the panelists to ask you two questions on this before we go to the next talking point tonight. Sorry that we hear you are en route to Monrovia, but we're taking most of your time and you are on the highway speaking to us this evening. We really appreciate that, Council.
No, I've arrived in Monrovia. I'm in Boys Town, which is far from Monrovia. Okay. That is why you're having difficulty. I was on my way coming when you were calling in the beginning. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Printers, let's hear you on this. Your two questions to the council. From you, we go to Bobby Wanty and the rest of the panelists.
Okay. Thank you, Junior. I hope you get me.
I can hear you.
Okay. Council, like Junior area stated, this is not the first time for a moratorium to be placed on processed rubber. Similar measure was instituted by Madam Erin Johnson Sirleaf, and like Junior said, former President Weah did the same. But however, it did not lead to industrialization. As your proposal to the country is being laid out. And we have also been able to make analysis of the current executive order 151 on here that we also got somebody from the rubber industry within the country. And throughout the readings, we've not been clearly able to get specific part of that executive order that calls for production of materials out of rubber. So, what is really building up these praises and your hope that this executive order may lead to production of our raw materials in country?
But that's what uh, this is aspiration. This is what Liberian people want. So we are pushing the government to go to that stage and not to just issue an order that will protect a few exporters. That is what that's as people, citizens of Liberia, we should push our government to do what we want the government to do. And what I'm saying is popular with the people of Liberia. Everybody wants factories to be built here for the production of finished products from rubber.
So, as an opposition who is very objective, and let me commend you for that. You mostly get to comment where necessary, and criticize and proffer suggestions when needed to the regime. So, if our anticipation that this executive order 151 leads to industrialization doesn't come to reality, what could be possible steps that you and the Liberia People's Party could consider?
Or we will be criticizing the government for that and saying we expected much out of the executive order, that it was going to lead to maybe creating incentives for people to produce finished products out of rubber. As you know, in our 10-point agenda, we have said, look, when we come to power, LPP come to power, we'll give incentive for people to establish factories to produce things all over the country. And every 50 miles away from Monrovia, there will be a reduction in taxes, to the extent that if you are in Maryland or Grand Crew, you will pay almost zero corporate tax. But you'll be employing more Liberians all over the country, and that will reduce the rural urban migration. It will also reduce crimes in the cities, as well as increase our revenue. It will improve the lives of property owners all over the country, because people will be renting, real estate owners will make money. So that's what we know manufacturing can do. It's a game changer. When I was Minister of Labor, President Gbagbo gave a speech to us in 2010 in Ouagadougou and said, look, I just issued an executive order and said no more exploitation around coast. That's one of the powers that president has. It's not sufficient to say, oh, we purify the rubber a little bit and get it out. That processing, just ordinary processing of rubber, has been happening from long time. It was happening in cocoa pie in the late 60s, in the 70s. The machines, the old machines are there. That's not a, and the reason why I felt that this was a different type of thing that the president was talking about is that the question of processing rubber, but Firestone has a rubber factory, the cocoa pie, all. So the government could not be issuing statement about something that was happening already, that has been happening here. That is why we felt, oh, we are going towards industrialization, manufacturing of products made out of rubber. Hello?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, Prentice. Thank you for those questions. Let's go to you, Bobby Wanty. Bobby, let's hear your two questions to a counselor. From you, we go to DK, Mr. Mafasin Davis, and the rest of the panelists.
Thank you, John. Counselor, how are you doing, sir?
I'm fine. Oh.
Thank you. Thank God. Thank God. Counselor, this executive order I believe there have been 3 different presidents that issued similar executive order on the same production or rubber. And the first 2 did not materialize. And there's a second or third one coming up with President Boakai today. My question to you as a lawyer, which I have helped a lot of people, Liberians in Liberia, in your capacity. What happens if this one don't come to fruition? You have one of these companies right in your own house in Lima County, and one is Firestone. Is there any way that you, as a counselor, as a lawyer, can do anything for Liberians?
Well, I don't want to answer that question now. I want to be hopeful. I want to be hopeful that the executive order will lead to creation of factories to produce finished products. I don't want to be skeptical, so I'm not going to say anything about the question about what legal action will be taken. I know.
All right. On this one, Joe, I will rest, and then when we go to politics, then I will ask the counselor more questions.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Matheson, welcome to the show. Let's hear you.
All right. Thank you, Councillor. It's been quite a long time.
That is true.
Yeah, is it safe? Because when you think about Liberia's situation, is almost like what the economists will refer to as the paradox of plenty. Lot, but the lot is not, triggered down to the people, and life continues to be the way it is. Is it enough to just give an executive order as a government, or should we make some of the issue like industrialization a policy issue that will guide our discussion with would-be concessionaire? That's one of my concern areas. And the other area we have to do with the new law school. Is it to a point where the student can transition between the new law school and the University of Liberia? For example, if I should take transfer from the new law school to the University of Liberia and vice versa?
It hasn't happened. The law school just started. He has had his first semester. So if you fill the Louis Arthur Graham School of Law entrance and you pass the Liberian School of Law entrance, and maybe right after one semester you transfer to the other one, I'm not sure. Is a situation that is evolving. There were some lawyers who felt that there should not be another law school. There was strong resistance. Even when some of us wanted to teach there were some of our colleagues who had a different view. So I believe these things here will gradually, maybe when we reach the 3rd year and the University of Liberia sees the standard of performance of our students, perhaps that type of consideration will be made, that people can transfer from Louis Arthur Graham School of Law to the Liberian School of Law and vice versa. So that hasn't happened yet. But I see the gradually, the Bar Association recognizes the new law school. So I think it's something that could happen. But we have had only one semester, so
Yeah, then the other question is, you think it's enough to just pass
no,
an
okay,
executive order?
so there's an executive order. We've been talking about all of us on this show tonight will agree that it's important to have value addition to the vast natural resources that we have here.
100%.
That's the thing that will create jobs. That's the thing that will increase our revenue because the prices of manufactured goods are higher than raw materials. So, and then we're generating no revenue to develop our country. While we have not been doing that, when we have comparative advantage in terms of natural resources, forest, mining, the soil that is producing rubber, cocoa, and all those, everybody is going, and most countries are going towards that. Ghana is refining most of its gold now. Ivory Coast is producing chocolate. They have chocolate, we have big rubber. Why we can't that's government policy. Um, and if we come up with a policy that look, we're not exporting raw rubber again, or there only a certain percentage, but if you want to get into the rubber industry, you have to put a factory here to produce some finished product from rubber, right? Tires, sanitary glove, condoms, all those different things. And like I say, look at the forest. We have more than 40% of the forest in the Gulf of Guinea. Why can't we be furniture exporter? Right now, they're cutting the logs. When they get ready, if they can't find buyer, they leave the logs at the Buchanan Port or Sano Port or anywhere in the bush, and they get rotting. These are trees that were growing for over 1,000 years, maybe. It's going to be difficult to replace them. Just a few weeks ago, it was published in the media that about 500 logs were abandoned in Konobo district in Grand Jeddah. They will remain there and get rotting. If we had furniture companies here, then the harvesting of logs would be even slower because when they cut one, they produce furniture out of it before they cut the other one. The logs that were cut would be used right here, and it will be leaving the country as furniture. When you produce furniture, they can be there forever. So I think we should go back. We used to produce plywood here in Sino. We've had experience. We should go back to those things. And rubber has been here since 1926. So I'm very happy that this decision was made by government, and I'm optimistic that the government will go to manufacturing. If it doesn't happen, we'll promote manufacturing. If it doesn't happen, we will say no. We cannot. You cannot engage in. You can't raise people hope. That will be the same old. Something has to change Liberia's story for the better. So
Thank you so much.
let's push our government to do what we want. That is what I want everyone to do. Let's push our government to do what we want. We want finished products out of the rubber here. That is, this executive order 151 should lead us to manufacturing rubber products here. Government has the authority to do it and should do it.
Thank
And
you. Thank you.
also somebody said something about negotiation. You are right. Right at the point of negotiating concession agreement, many
Yeah.
things should be put into the agreement. I will share my experience with you. Look, I was on the Meta Steel delegation. President Salim put me there when I was at Justice Ministry. We went to New York. We were swinging a Kriva. We were scheduled to make 3 trips. On the first trip, they considered me to be so tough, and to the extent of being considered unreasonable, because I was putting a lot of things on the table. And because I'm a human rights lawyer, when I went to that negotiation, Global Witness brought me a lot of information on Meta Steel operation around the world. And even the price they had told the banks they will buy, they will sell Liberian iron ore for. The iron ore that Meta Steel getting out of Liberia not being sold is being sent to their blast furnaces around the world. So it's a raw material for their factories. Why, if they are producing steel, why can't they put one of the steel plants in Liberia here? So we're negotiating, and after the first negotiation, when we came back, in fact, during the negotiation, Mr. Sen got up and said, You've been too tough. We are gonna leave Liberia. And my reaction was leave. And the IO was still being the ground there. Some member of the delegation were pacifying them. Oh, Mr. Sin, I said, look, I'm a lawyer. That's a negotiating tactic. You can't put $2-3 million in. You're not gonna just leave. In the end, I've said this before on another media. We came. My name was on the delegation to go back. I just had the delegation. I gone 2 days later. I was removed from the delegation. But more than that, when I came back and Senator Adolfo Dolo is still living, he came to my office and said, "Oh, Counselor, is it SG? Everybody on the delegation said you're difficult, and you know the investment is going to Nimba, and it'll create jobs and other things. The economic things are tough. This is something that's going to Nimba. So why are you difficult?" I said, Senator, we have to put everything on the table now. When the iron ore is dug out of the ground, it's gone forever. So let's talk about what Liberia gets out of that iron ore production. These people are not missionaries. They are not NGOs. They didn't come here to provide relief. They came for profit. If we didn't have the ability to give them the profit that they want, they would not have come here. So let's talk about honor interest. It didn't stop there. The late Senator Wallace was president pro tem. He called me too. Because you were chair of the mineral committee. Then the way sold me to our chiefs in Nimba. I just heard my name on the Truth FM. Chiefs talking that our own son, they say the Majesty not working because our own son blocking it. And then the next thing, they left. What happened in the end? They came and said, "Oh, Lajwe Mita say that out of goodwill, the company will build a road from Ganta to Yekepa. Goodwill is not enforceable in our contract. So a lot of things should have happened. We should have been clear on the rehabilitation of the houses in Yekepa. I think the government should be clear now that they're going to negotiation and say, until you rehabilitate all of the houses in Yekepa and Buchanan, we can extend the contract. You are in a better position to do that. There are continuous in Buchanan, and I was just in Yekepa 2 months ago. They got stories of continuing now, first, second, and third floor. And there are so many buildings not rehabilitated in Area P, Market, all over the Area L, everywhere. The only place that looks like Yekepa of old is the African Bible University. Oh, when you go there, you think you're in Europe. It's like how Yekepa used to be. So you are right. When we are negotiating these contracts, I mean, even if one company threatens that, okay, but then I can't meet your requirement, another company will come. Because natural resources reduce every year. So scarcity can can contribute to positive price for the supplier, So we should not be afraid, the company will not, when the company leaves, another one will come. That's what other people have done, because you cannot replenish natural resource. I'm sorry for being long, but I just wanted this issue that was raised about, concession agreement is quite important.
Thank you so much, Council. Let's go to you, Siawete, so get to I beg you make your question very short to the councillor so that we can go to another point tonight. After you, we end up with Shadrach Tobe, then we move to the next point.
Oh, why?
Oh, I'm really sorry, I didn't see you. That's why. But let's hear from Siawete, then we come back to you.
Thank you, Junior, and thank you to Council for appearing on the show. I mean, it's a pleasure. You were able to make your way to be on the show. Now our question has been reduced to one, so I'll just embed into. I listened to you. You lay out the issue of the executive order, and the last time, and there are a series of issues I mean, cardinal one in the executive order, the positive one. The positive ones are the issue of job creation, value addition, like discretion, and that of the private sector development. Now, the folks we have in the raw sector, one of their problem is the issue of the disruption, the short disruption they may have in terms of buyer, because their argument is most of those companies, the executive order is good, but the timing, they don't have company to compute at this point in time. How timely it is for our farmers and rubber brokers that are in the country. Those are series of concern they keep raising. You being a human rights lawyer, do you think it is a violation to the rights of the business people as well when we don't have factories in the country to purchase those rubbers?
Let me say this: laws, policies, regulations are always disruptive. You know, they're always disruptive. And people, when I issuing the regulation, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. For example, my experience, I issue regulation number 17 to increase the work permit fees from $400 to $1,000 in 2010. When I was doing that, the employer was saying, "Oh, we're not prepared for that. Let's increase it $100 per year." And my idea was, look, I'm not trying to make you comfortable. I'm trying to discourage you from bringing so many non-librarians in this country to work. So I'm not. Now, the question, we hope the government is serious on this issue. The issue of value addition is so important to the economy of this country in terms of revenue, in terms of job creation. And different companies will have different time. They will say, "Oh, we need 2 years, we need 3 years, we need 4 years." It's difficult to say that a law or an executive order will make those who affect comfortable. No. What is considered? What is the interest of the country? And the interest of the country, in my view, is to add value to our products, is to create jobs and to increase our revenue. Some people will be affected, but if generally it seeks the common good, and that is what government exists for, then I have no problem with it.
Thank you, Council. Aloysius, let's hear you. Please make your question one. Then we'll go to Shadrach and go to the next topic. I beg you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Councilor, and good evening again coming on this show. And this issue of reward exploitation is something that is big. It's bigger than we think. And I'm actually in support of producing things in Liberia, especially looking at Firestone. I live here in the United States, and one of the expensive tires we got here comes from Firestone, and Firestone have no tire productions or any major finished product in Liberia. You don't think it will make sense we go to Firestone? I don't know what their policy, to revisit those policies. Since we are in new era, we revisit those policies so as to Firestone and other major rock corporation or company in Liberia to start a production before coming up with this 151 order. Because if you don't do so, when robbers are not in demand in Liberia, and then you stop people from exporting, then people who produce rubber, those company, those farms, where would they carry their rubber? Their rubber price is going to drop. So I think we should start from productions, from factory. Then indeed we go to stopping people from exporting. And finally, what you have a little bit of interest in, I'm so sorry, then I may say this, maybe a little bit different, in condom production in Liberia. It is because we have some, our population, we have an issue with the populations, or we have some, sexual transmitted disease issue.
Okay, so I'm not particular about it, even though I used to head a global fund committee on HIV/AIDS, and the prevalence of AIDS in Liberia is very, very high. No question about that. Monserrato, Grand Bassa, Nimba, uh, some parts of Southeast, Grand Chile, all that is very, very high. People don't know that. But I'm just saying it because also it's one of the things that we import. And it will produce here, it will cut down the cost that of importing those things. These are essential commodities that we use every day. That's why I mentioned them. Okay. But yes, my answer is it's quite important because of the prevalence of HIV/AIDS in Liberia, and also other sexually transmitted diseases like hepatitis B and all of that. They are here. But what you said again, that's a policy decision. That's your opinion. That you say, well, maybe it was better to ask the companies, can you start building factory to produce and all of that. When laws are made, people start trying to conform to the law. Executive order has a life of 1 year. So let's give the government chance to see how this executive order will work. Maybe at the end of the year, the legislature might even pass into law and be more detailed on what is expected out of the executive order. So I think this is one good thing that the government has done, going towards a value addition. Someone I've heard people say, "Oh, I've heard people say having other government and feel. Why should we expect? We should be optimistic that um, it will be different, and we should push the government to make it different."
Thank you, Council. Shadrach, I beg you ask your one question, then we can go to District 5 politics, and then we have one more topic to discuss.
All right, Mr. Moderator, who will be switching us? No problem. Thank you. Good evening to my father, one of the senior elders of our county, Liberia at large, and Council Congo.
Good
Council,
evening. Yes,
and
sir.
Shabby Guan Togbe, hail from Buyao and Berega, respectively.
What time in Buyao?
Bow Down played a very small town where people take as a womb. So that's why we can laugh.
Oh, good at the Sase Wuta. If on the Sase Wu play.
I was in Blole. I was in Blole yesterday. I was also in Butu.
Okay.
I was in Bangui all that, yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sir, so brought my background to ask you to better explain to us, not us. I think us is my grandmother in Dample, the other grandmother in Kwendi, the other grandmother in Grace Europea, who does not understand the word executive order that we're discussing today, for the benefit of the common people to understand the executive order, the implication and the impact of a society, and that executive order, how effective or the weight of an executive order, that of a legislation in our country. Can you explain it in the little man no time so that my mom can understand what we are talking about? Thank you.
All right. We have the laws we got different law. The big law they call constitution and a law that everybody in the country made. Then the next law that the law that the people we elect to go to the law house as representatives and senators can make. The president of Liberia has authority to, in the interest of the country, when something is so important and it will take time to make the law, to issue the thing they call executive order that president that order he gave, just as the word itself say, that you command and say they want must happen now, and nobody can question that. You know, it's happening right in America. It's happening all over the place. You know, people issue because it takes time to make law. Law takes a lot of argument, and sometimes politics get into it. Maybe the other party trying to bring something good, the party in power, it will make that party in power look good, and the other party does not like it, they will oppose it. But the president got authority to issue that one thing in the interest of the country, they call it executive order. That order that the president can get, and since the president controls the executive, the reason why they call it executive order, maybe they should call it presidential order, then people will know clearly that an order coming from the president. But that's why it is order from the president, and for the 1 year that the order for that order has a life of.
Oh my God.
Wow, the council is having network problem. Folks, if you're just joining us via radio, we'd like to say welcome to the show here this evening. You're listening to the Heat Hour. On the Heat Hour, we say dialogue and not confrontation. We say words and not bullet. Tonight, we are in conversation with Councillor Tiawanse Gonglo. Councillor Tiawanse Gonglo is speaking to us this evening on a couple of national issues. Very soon, we'll be diving into local politics in District 5, Nema County. Councillor, if you are there, please speak to us. I think the council is having a problem. But again, let's welcome to the show B. Mark Bloom. Mark Bloom would like to say welcome to the show here this evening. And all of you two following us. Dukle Abi would like to say welcome to the show. You know, Dukle always saying that we discuss Nema politics. Today we are discussing national issue, Dukle. So I hope you take note of that. DK, you can reach out to the council and ask him to rejoin us.
I know he would do that. You know, when he's on his phone and there's local call, it will always take him up. So the old man's doing well. They're just keeping him at least.
Yeah. So I beg you,
maybe some of the clients are calling him, and so Elijah was just explaining. You're talking to a lawyer, then you want to explain. You lecturing the lawyer. I say they both I just. So you're not here from the CNC mobilization chair. How are you?
Because of time, when the council comes, we go to District 5 issue. All of us ask one question.
Yes, I didn't ask, and Mark Bloom didn't ask, so they just move to the next topic. Mark and myself don't have issue like that. They move to the next topic and discuss.
The council
Hello.
Back. Yes, sir. Welcome back.
Thank you. Somebody was asking question.
I think you respond to that. We want to take you to District 5 politics. But before we dive into this District 5 issue, I want to bring your attention to this Sasehu thing that is given in District 5 particularly.
Yes. But John, that be incorporated in the District 5.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So
it already will be dealing with him District 5. So ask all the questions about District 5 to him. Whether a law is the candidate. Focus on
we will do that. Now, I'm going to ask you two questions in one. This Sasehu thing. Do you think it is necessary for our people to still be taking Sasehu in the country? Let's look at the legal implication of that. Now, I know of a case that doctor pronounced someone dead, and the doctor report gave that the person died from malaria. But unfortunately, a girl who I cannot call her name here from one of the towns in District 5 in Buyao, she woke up one morning and said she did it. She killed the person, but doctor report said the person died from malaria. And the family of that person took the girl to Dunpley. They gave her oath. And when she took the oath, unfortunately for her, it started to treat her badly. And she died from that situation. So do you think it's necessary that doctor will pronounce this person died from malaria, and then they take somebody to say that I don't want to kill the person, they take the person and carry them to go Dunpley? It's really complicated to me. I don't know whether this is murder, or if somebody commit murder, this is the only way we can resolve the issue. I want to hear you on that.
First, that person who administered some kind of sazu to the young lady and she died committed crime. Actually committed a crime of murder. Sazu, let me go back. Sazu is illegal under our constitution because our constitution says you cannot force anyone to produce evidence against himself. And what Sazu does, it makes you, the accused person, to produce evidence against yourself. You are compelled, whether it's the cutlass or whatever they bring, compels you to produce evidence against yourself. So it's unconstitutional, it's illegal in all its forms. In 1916, the Supreme Court of Liberia decided a case in which it said Sasewu is illegal and is unconstitutional and illegal in all its forms because it makes the person who is a minister Sasewu to produce evidence against himself or herself. Besides that, there is no scientific basis for Sasewu. Look, they have killed so many people in this country. Recently, there was a woman in Nimba called Gwe who was going from place to place killing people. She will give you a liquid to drink and say you are a witch and give you liquid to drink, but she will not drink that same liquid from the same cup. And most of the people who drank the liquid died. I call the county attorney and say, how can you say that for this time? The county attorney got the people who brought the Gwe lady arrested and all of that. Later on, a lot of traditional people got involved, and the woman went to Ivory Coast. I understand she has been arrested in Ivory Coast or so. But let me tell you my experience as Solicitor General. Way back, I think it was either 2006 or 2007. Some group of people in that same Booyah got up and accused some people of being witches. They say, oh, since the war ended, United Nations can't come here. NGO can't come here. Because some witches in the Booyah are blocking development. So what happened? They brought one man from Ivory Coast, and the man had some elderly people in their 70s and 80s. He lined them up, he stripped them naked, and put pepper in their private parts. All of them confessed to being the one that are causing development not to come to Booyah. I had the chief, the man ran away. I had the chief arrested by the county attorney. He was tried and found guilty. He was in jail for a year or so in San Nicolas because he brought the and I said to them that time myself, you put pepper on my private pie, I will not even take 1 minute. I will confess to anything you want me to confess to. You know, they put them in the sun. There was a man called Koitamo before the war. He killed a lot of people in Bongan, my mother came from Bongan. He would say to them, you are a witch. He said, I'm not a witch. It's okay, then eat I come and cook dry rice. You should eat that dry rice. It was discovered later on that he was putting bird poison in the rice. That was before the war. And he killed a lot of, respected people who were business people, they were leaders in their communities, all that. That's something that I've been dealing with for years. 2006, a group of young men in River G slaughtered 6 persons on accusation that they were witches. How it happened? They were witches and wizards. 3 elderly men, 3 elderly women in their late 70s and 80s. A friend of theirs died at the Florican clinic. They kept him at malaria. They kept him for days. When they took him to the clinic, was late, he died, and they pronounced that he died from malaria. They put in the southeast, they don't do it in Nimba, but this is what they do. They say the dead body should show the killer. So somebody gone, the people throwing the body, somebody will just lead the group to somebody else and say the dead body has arrested you. They did it to 7 elderly people, 4 men and 3 women. And one of the old men said, "Oh, let me just urinate." When he left him, he ran away into the bush, and they carried the 6 on the outskirts of the city, outskirts of the town, and they killed them. How did they kill them? They administered Sasawu. They beat the Sasawu. There's some Sasawu tree even in Nimba. They cut the bark and forced them to beat it, and then they put sulfuric acid inside and forced the people to drink it. All 6 of them died. So I flew in Army helicopter to that place. We had them arrested. We transferred the case to Margibi because if we are trying in River G, all the jurors will have acquitted them, or even in Grand Jury or any part in or Sino or any part of Southeast because of that culture. So we transferred the case to Kakata and we won the case. But it's a terrible culture. It's not just in Buya, all over the country. We are fighting hard to deal with that. And people who don't like you will find some way. There was a man who came to Kwaipa one time and had laser in a cow horn that was covered. He used to put the cow horn right by the fire. Then he said, if the cow horn shake, then somebody is a witch. That person is a witch. One frisky young man had observing that in the day he used to take the laser and put it on the outskirts of the town to eat, ants and all of that. And in the night, because in the evening, he used to do it. And then, so the little boy just came one day and took the cow horn and opened the lid and put the laser outside and said, "There no witch, there no sasu with the man doing that laser." And the man ran away from the town. So many of these things are just tricks that people do to make money. Most of the sasu players don't have farms. They don't have shop. They live off the ignorance of people. So we should not
Thank
even
you.
support it. It's illegal, it's immoral, and it's not good for our country.
Thank you, Council. Are you in any way, or have you in any way signed any document with the Ministry of Internal Affairs satisfying a particular place in your places in Liberia to offer Sasehu?
No, I cannot do that. In fact, I wrote a memorandum to the Minister of Labor and the Minister of Internal Affairs when I was acting minister. I think I was acting minister of Justice. I was still Solicitor General. Anyway, I wrote a memo that they should stop the practice of Sasewu all over the country, and nobody should be on government payroll as witch doctor only to do Sasewu. We respect herbalists, but these people who say they were witch doctors should not be on the payroll. How can we be paying some people to commit crime, to do what is illegal? So no, the only memorandum I wrote to Internal Affairs or in government was to tell them and cited the law, the 1926 law, 1916 law, that the Supreme Court of Liberia had declared Sasewu to be unconstitutional, totally illegal, cruel
Thank
and
you.
inhumane. Yeah.
Thank you. DK, let's hear you. We are now in District 5. Let's hear you on this. From you, we go to Bobby.
Thank you, Uncle Tiawon, for the sake of the discussion. Thank you, Council. Let me just make a follow-up to this Sasewu thing. One of the burning things that accompany the Sasewu debate too is the reselling of land. I remember I interacted with you some part of 2013-14, and I think you were the one who wrote that law that people who will resell land to 2-3 owners will have some penalty to pay. How far is that law when people who are away and people who even on ground, when they buy land, sometimes they lost the land because the landowner sell the land to 2-3 persons, and those things are creeping into our county. How can you
The law is called criminal conveyance law. I drafted that law in 2013 for Land Commission when I was legal consultant for Land Commission. And it came into force in 2014. That law was meant to stop all the double selling of land, triple selling of land. But apparently the police And the magistrates don't understand that law. Because if A buys land, if B buys land from A and and A says that same land to C, once the two of them show D in the police station, they show deeds, they can say, oh, y'all go to court. But the second deed is evidence of criminal conveyance. The police should arrest the person with the second deed, and the seller the police should arrest A and C. But the police can just say, y'all go to court. So just, in fact, our law firm, I think, was the first law firm to win a case on criminal conveyance. My younger brother, Philip Gonglo, is a lawyer. And last year, he won a case in the lower court and he went to the Supreme Court and won the case there. And the Chief Justice, Sina Yo, said, look, for the first time, he said, normally when we decide cases at the Supreme Court, it takes 3 days for the mandate to be sent down, and then the mandate is read before the judgment is enforced. But she said, where is the appellant? They showed the man, Junior Hills. They said that the man there, Mr. Marshall, you have the man detained immediately, because when the man leaves here, he knows that he has lost the case. When the case go downstairs since he's on bail, he will disappear and we'll not find him. So he's in jail right now, Um, and I feel the Ministry of Justice should be talking about that somebody is in jail for 5 years for double selling your land. But recently, I think it was on Saturday, I actually called the Minister of Justice and said, Minister, I volunteer to actually train, if you can organize to train the police and the magistrates and even the prosecutors to understand the law on criminal conveyance. Because if people really understand it, they will enforce the law and it will probably stop or reduce the double selling of land. The law, I think part of the reason that people don't really understand it, those who should be enforcing the law don't really understand it. So yeah, we're trying to do something about it. And he told me to write some sort of proposal for that type of workshop. So we're working on something like that.
Thank you. I know the John Hill guy that what made me ask you, because I followed that particular thing. He took me down Portland Johnson Road there for a long time. I started fighting that case in 2020.
He's in jail right now and talking about you want compassionate leave to leave from jail. I called the Minister of Justice. I said, that man, you say he's sick. That's not true. You just want way to get out of jail. Get out of jail, nobody will see him.
Okay, thank you, Uncle Tiamo. So you visited Buyao yesterday. When you and myself spoke, you were en route to Buyao. What was your mission in Buyao, and what you think about the pending by-elections? That's my last question on this. Thank you.
One of my advocacy in this country has always been gender balance. Even when I was Solicitor General, among the county attorneys, I had Serena Galawolo, county attorney, Dede Joma Wilson, assistant county attorney, always bringing women to the table. I believe that we cannot run this country without women. Women participation. They bring something to the table. Women know about family and children issue more than the men, and they're committed to it. So when our Minister of Labor, I remember one of the first things I did, I want to increase we got some money. I say I want to increase the number of labor inspectors. I want 10 labor inspectors, but I give clear instruction. I want 5 of them to be women, 5 men. And that was done. Some of those people are still working at Ministry of Labor. So I've been advocating for a woman legislator. I don't know what is wrong with us. Of the 4 counties created in 1964, Nimba County is the only one that does not have a woman in the legislature. Grand Jide has. Bon County has. Lofa County has. Then even Grand Bassa that is bordering Nimba has a woman. It used to have a senator and a representative, and the female representative, lost in the last election. So we have other so it presents us as Nimbayans very bad, very ugly to the rest of the country. It's so shameful. Why are we sending our daughters to school? So I've been advocating for female representation. Is my sister running? Is, oh, that because your sister? No, she's capable, and I felt that she should be voted for. So I said, okay, Mahdi came out, I need to talk to her. I talked to her on the telephone a little bit, and I saw that she was intelligent. So I said, I will support this one woman. Among 10 men, there were 11 candidates. And I've been talking to her. I wrote a letter. I've been doing many things to make her succeed. I wrote a letter to President Salih and persuaded her that as former president, the first female president, she should be encouraging or supporting women in the politics of Liberia, to participate in the politics of Liberia. And I said to her, Nima is a serious case because our sisters in Nima are now afraid to get into politics, given the fact that Ida Gonglo went 4 times and each time coming second. And people really fighting to make sure that she does not. So, and my party carried Esther Batra from District 4 in the last election. Esther didn't win. Other women have tried in other districts. So I said we have to put our weight behind this woman here to make sure that she wins. So I wrote President Salib. I wrote the Angie Brooks Center, which is meant for promoting women participation in politics. I wrote Vice President Jeremiah Kuhn and appealed to him to campaign for this one lady so we can change Nima's story, just as he campaigned in the last election. I wrote Honorable Samuel Koga. I wrote Honorable Nyantwa. I wrote Semiana, Honorable Semiana, the chair of the Nima Legislative Caucus, for them to support this woman. And then I wrote the superintendent of Nima, and I said, you're a woman. You might want to participate in politics in the future. You might want to run to go in the House or the Senate. Put your weight behind this woman. And I've been on the radio. I've been on Radio Kagema. I've been on Truth Radio. Even today, I was on Truth Radio. I was on Band Radio yesterday. And then I went and I had, participated in a campaign with her in Buyao. I went to Butuo and spoke with the oldest political figure, the oldest female political figure in the whole of Buyao. Her name is Annie Kwale. She's in Butuo. I talked about tradition. I took small money and gave it to her. I said, they're not enough money, but I'm putting Mahdi Kema Mwombe into your hands. Mobilize all the men in Buyao here on radio in District 5 to change the story. So I've done that. And this is even tomorrow, I'll find time to keep talking for us to change the story. I think there's something that we should be collective about. I'm from District 9. I'm she's not in my political party, but to bring change in this country, we must go beyond party identity, party lines, and try to select, good people to change the story of Liberia. That's what I'm doing right now. And I'm happy about what I'm doing tomorrow. I'll be sending some flyers to her, and things like that. And I think that all of us on this platform should support her. It's a good cause. There are 9 men running, and those 9 men have more resources than she has. I didn't see one picture of her in the district, and I said, okay, but I'm campaigning on radio. She doesn't have a picture here, but she's the only woman on the ballot. But I'm sending some flyers tomorrow. Somebody's carrying the flyers to her, and today I spoke to the vice president and encouraged him to support her. He answered. We had a good discussion, and I said, please support this woman. First, he didn't know. Then he said, has she participated before? Because I said she's in the police. She couldn't be a dummy for the police to elevate her to a position of superintendent. And she worked with the CSD, they used to call it CID. She worked with the Women and Children Division. Now she's with the Corporate Division. So let's get her in, so that you encourage a lot of other women in the future to participate in the electoral process, not to be, because this idea of women not winning is having a chilling effect on a lot of ambitious young women. So that's why I went to Nimba.
Thank you. Bobby wants your one question to this councillor on this issue.
Yeah, Councillor, thank you very much for your, brilliant education that you are educating us on this platform today. I believe you are answering one of my questions, which was which of the party or which of the candidate you supporting in District 5. But my second question is, this land issue we were talking about, I'll get a little bit confused when you were explaining that you either wrote a law or something
They
for
call it the Criminal Convenience Act.
Okay,
Criminal
criminal
Convenience
convenience act that people that sell land, they should arrest party A, who is the rightful owner of the land, that sell it to party B, and then turn around and sold the same land to party C. So they should arrest party A and party C. When party C does not know what happened and they sell land to him. So why they arresting party C when party C buy land from party A? That not only party A they arresting because he or she sold the land to two persons. And then secondly, the election violence in Liberia, especially in this booyah that you're coming from today. What is your thought and what can we do? You went there to campaign for your president, but what can you
You're not
do
my
as
partisan.
Okay, well, if you as you're one of the supporters, what can you do or what can we do to curtail this election violence? Because election will come and go. We are one family, we are one people.
So, like President Chopper said before, Liberia has 3 enemies. He said Liberia had 3 enemies, and I believe Liberia still has those 3 enemies. He said the 3 enemies we have are ignorance, poverty, and disease. And he's concluded that the worst of the 3 enemies is ignorance. That fighting over election violence is a display of ignorance. So we need to educate people more and more. That's the only way. While government enforces the law, we need to educate people that there's no need for electoral violence. Can you imagine when maybe you didn't see it, you're too young to see it, but a long time ago, we saw people in the 60s and early 70s when they used to have parliamentary and township election, people would stand behind. It would be in Muto, they're voting for the township, and you've been drinking palm wine together, but your friend standing behind that person, your cousin standing behind that person, and people visibly would see. And those people used to have election, no quarrel. How come the one that we're having by secret ballot can bring quarrel? I don't understand. And most of our participating in this thing say we are educated, and our people didn't go to school. But I never witnessed electoral violence. My uncle, they left from Gonglo and John Timba in Glay ran for election for town chief. It was not easy. After the election, do you know those 2 men? The next day were drinking palm wine together, and on a Saturday, then Sunday, they went to their club meeting, the money club meeting, and they were sitting there. Then on another day, 2 of them were in the same coup for brushing, and they went brushing with cutlasses in a coup. No problem. Election used to end on election day. How come our own is like this? I think it's because of the money. Too much money has gone to the electoral process. That is what, in my view, is causing the violence. Because nobody can be so angry for a poor man. They can be angry for somebody who's giving them money. So it's the political investors that are causing, I call them election time investors. Maybe if election committee will say, no registration, nobody should spend money, whatever. I mean, because money is bringing too much confusion. They're more. We didn't have violence just in the election. With Samuel Doe, a military man. I didn't see violence in that election in 1985. We didn't even have much violence until in 1997. This violence here came after during the 2005 election, and it's just been going up because more and more money are being dumped into the electoral process. That is what is bringing the violence, in my view.
Thank you.
Thank you, Council. I beg you, let us stay to one question because we have almost exhausted our time here. So let's stay to one question at most. Aloysius, let's hear you from you. We go to Siawete, then Shadrach, and the rest of the people.
Councilor, once again, thank you. And my name is Aloysius Bube. I'm from Buyard, and thank you for the clarity on the trial by ordeal. And I don't know why Mark Bloom he's not here because he established an institution according to him to provide those things. But I hope we learn from that and we'll come back here with the issue. But my concern is Nima, Liberia, Buyard, etc. And few years back, or all of the time back, we saw you with this war crime coat, and you been seen in some of the graveyards, trying to identify.
So Aloysius, this question in line is tailored around the Buyard elections. There's a last segment that will focus on his life, his advocacy, and his presidential ambition.
Oh, okay. I thought you said we should put everything together at once.
Yeah. So that will be the last segment. So that focus on Buyard election so that he will not be leaving from this topic to another one, please.
Oh, okay. But then I rest my case for now. The answer the work or
that's the last segment before we take leave for him. The old man just came from Nima today. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, are you getting me? Okay, Council, thank you very much. My name is Siawete Tua from Nimba. I listened to you even during previous election with your support to women. Most time, people's argument is that the issue of election is about democracy and the will of the people. Now, the situation in Liberia, we don't have, like special seat for women and support, special budget for women support to election. Now, you being a human rights lawyer, for example, like election we have gone through, don't you think it is also, you are also preaching against human rights and the culture of democracy as well? Because the issue of election is about the number and it's democracy, and you are preaching about women participation, it has to do with number. So how do we reconcile that? Council over.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Probably you received a red call. I don't know. But we hope to be joined by him.
Yes, I think he's listening. So you will money
because of
they just stick there. You can play the money because you want with finance. So
because of time, I think it would be better we just combine all these questions.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you now.
Yeah, I think you, yeah.
Okay. All right. No. So I was saying that there's not a violation of anybody's right. It's just an expression. It's an exercise of my right to speak freely and to persuade people, because I'm not forcing anyone, and I don't think people who are advocating for more women representation are violating anybody's right, because when they don't vote for women, nothing happens to them. So there's no violation right here. I think, it's reasonable. Mano people and Gio people and all the other tribes in Nimba, they can say in Gio, Koye de ya Gio Koku. And the Mano people can say, Kadewa, we are Kawa. Who will give you one of them? So I was saying in the Nimba house in the legislature, it is not a home, it's just a house. So we need to have a woman representation in the legislative caucus. This is persuasion, it's not a violation of right. And I think, the other country, Bapulo has a senator, Grand Bassa has a senator, Cape Mankani has a senator, Bassa used to have a senator and a representative. Grand Bassa, Grand Judah has representative, a female representative. Lofa has female representative. Bon County has female representative. And I don't think that those women are more qualified than Nima women. Nima women are equally qualified. Why don't we elect them? I'm just saying that, and numerically, the Nima women are more than the Nima men. How can the minority keep dominating the majority? That is not democratic as well.
Yeah,
Hello?
thank you, Council. Shadrach, let's hear you. I beg you, please make your question very brief to the councillor.
All right. Once again, Councillor, I want to say one It is sacred going on two way. Council, I will ask the question as a political question on a broad perspective, but again, it will boil down to a Booyah election, particularly. There is misreaction in Booyah based on support from one of the senior senator for NEMA, who is the political executive member of the MDRO. Few months back, he said somehow he proposed to his party and the party rejected his offer. He considered a disrespect. Based on that, he esteemed himself in the process of supporting his in-party candidate. I want to ask Councillor Tiawo Gonglu, as a legal practitioner, an institutional builder who build laws and interpret laws, is it a disrespect to a senior political leader or a party executive once he alone proposed and party reject based on party rules and regulations? Is that disrespect that you should deviate from supporting your party candidate? Thank you.
So here is how I'll answer that question. Under the Tree Party, the party leaders used to decide who will become representative and senator. That's how Catherine Cummings, for example, from Tapeta became our first senator. The preferred candidate at that time from the people in Tapeta area was Bobo Tuanyen, but the Tree Party caucus chose Catherine Cummings. The same thing, the Tree Party caucus chose Mahiraman Tuanyen in Sanikole to represent the. So it used to happen, and then under the proportional representation system, President Charles Taylor chose Margaret Kerman to be senator. This King woman from Bui and Doru for Tapeta district to be representative, and Annie Yene to be representative. In a democracy, people can choose. Look, in America, George Bush, the Bush family, went against the Republican candidate. That was not wrong. That's how they felt. They did not support the party candidate. But these things happen in a democracy. And so the people who chose another president other than who the president, the senator wanted, did not do anything wrong against democracy. That was an expression of democratic right. The senator who to say it is not going to support that candidate unless their party has a rule that you must support the party candidate, has not acted against democracy. You were just expressing his right. Like I say, happens in America. Colin Powell, for example, powerful Republican, did not support the candidate, Candidate Donald Trump at that time. So these things happen. But I spoke to him today and he said, look, I'm not supporting any of the candidates. I said, fine, you are not supporting any of the men, but since you're not supporting any of the men, I want you to support the only woman so that you can help to change the story of Nimba and take credit for it historically that you, Senator Samuel Kuka, helped to change Nimba's story. Because historically, the only woman that has ever been elected by Nimba people is former Representative No Kido. She was the only one that She's the only one that ever been elected by Nima people. Because the other people I'm talking about were the other became representative through party machinery or through proportional representation, which was not based on the votes of Nima people.
Thank you, Council. Afanso, let's hear you on this one. Be very brief from you. We go to printers, and Mr. Matheson will hold you on this one. You and Aloysius, we can close with you on the national issue.
Thank you, Council. Thank you for appearing on the show. You mentioned that the story of Nima need to change and we need to elect women in the house. Are we just targeting going for women, or are we basing our election or electing women by competence, or just going for women?
Okay, I just told you that the other women from the other countries who are being elected are now more competent than Nimba women. Like this woman is very competent. Like nobody can question either Congo or his competency. When you check the superintendent today, if she decides to run tomorrow, she's competent. Esther Batoa is also who ran on LPP ticket. Is a competent woman. Cecilia Siawetua ran in Nimba. All these people have been competent. No Kido, well-educated woman, being a political activist, is competent. This woman is competent. Like I told you, she is superintendent. She has a rank of superintendent in the police, which means she controls people, and she worked with the CID, CSD, the Crime Services Department. We used to call it CID. She also worked with the Women and Children Division, and now she has been transferred to corporate division. So she's a capable woman. You know, she's competent. Yes, we should vote for people who will go there and represent us well. And I believe that she can represent us very, very well because I spoke with her, and she's very intelligent.
Thank you, Council. Honorable Mark Bloom, are you there? B. Mark Bloom, if you are there, please unmute your mic and come on camera to ask your question before we go to the next topic. So we'll leave Mark for now. Gentlemen, I beg you guys, the council have been on the road today. You have done a very long journey. So we'll leave this disregard thing and we will go strictly to the next topic. Let's start with you, Aloysius, and the rest of the people so we can let the councilor to go, please.
Okay, Councilor, sorry that we're keeping you so long, but this Nima thing.
So Aloysius, 1 second. So our next talking point is either on him agreeing the Baraka Kung administration and his intention for 2029. You can ask all your questions in that ring to let him go.
Oh, okay. It's okay. I get one question on it. One question on it. So like I was saying, the issue of the war crime code as an activist, human rights, practitioner, you have been seen around, advocating for war crime code, and there have been no war crime code, no fluctuations. We're not hearing anything, especially when the after the death of Senator Johnson. And we are not seeing you say anything about the war crime code. Someone may think that your war crime code advocacy was on the basis of Senator Johnson being, so powerful in Nima politically. You were using that against him. So I don't know what have slowed down your war crime code advocacy.
It has not slowed down. Like I usually say to people, because of the multiplicity of media institutions, when you speak on one, nobody hears you. Like this discussion we're having tonight, there are many people who will not hear what we're saying because they have their preferred online platforms. Long time ago in this country, when anything was said on the radio, people will hear because we only had 2 radio stations, ELBC and ELW. And ELBC used to carry whatever came from Lena, and then ELW will carry that same Lena story. So even recently, I participated at the forum organized by the Governors Commission and an NGO. I was one of the panelists, and I was, expressing criticism of the government that you are burying bodies, but why are you not focusing on accountability for the war crimes that was committed in the country? The president set up the secretariat, and for 6 months they have not taken pay. How do you expect them to work? That's my recent statement on the war crimes court. But again, some people didn't hear that, and that's just about 2 or 3 weeks ago. That's my advocacy for war crimes court is based on conviction. It is based on my training, and I was not targeting anyone. Like I said before, I saved Prince Johnson's life. Why would I save him and be targeting him? When I worked with Dr. Sawyer, when Prince Johnson and Taylor started the autopause, and Taylor was trying to kill him, they killed Cobalt Miller and many of his strong men. He came to the Stoughton Creek Bridge with with children. He said they were orphans. I was standing with Dr. Sawyer at 9 o'clock that morning when Brigadier Ada from Ghana called and said, Prince Johnson is across the river on the Car West side. We don't trust him, but he's saying that we should save him. Taylor want to kill him. I said to the president, Mr. President, under the laws of war, even if a president, the enemy, once they drop arm and surrender to you, you are to receive them. That is the law of war. So let them receive him. He was received. Whatever I turned to Sawyer and said, look, the army people business, you got nothing to do with it. Let them decide. But I said this on radio when Prince Johnson was alive, and I said I challenged him to deny this. Sawyer was alive when I said that on Truth Radio in Nimba, another radio station. So why? But these are things that people didn't know. Prince Johnson and I grew up behind the city hall. Me, Kwame Clement, Prince Johnson, current Chief Justice Bracy were all behind the city hall in 1983, 84, 85, before he went into exile. But sometimes people don't know all these things. So no, I have no personal thing against Prince Johnson. Personal, no. And it was my advocacy for the war crimes court was not for Prince Johnson.
Thank you so much, Councillor. CLT, let's hear one question from you. We'll go to Shadrach. And quickly, let's be fast. Let the councillor go, please.
Thank you, Junior. Thanks to the councillor for the time. Councillor, I've just been concerned about, you being a former labor minister. There have been series of debates, as it relates to the issue of work permit, issuance of work permit in our country. And if I may recall, during your regime as labor minister, you said work permit was 400, and under your regime, it went up to 1,000. Now, the situation in Liberia, most time, people like the Chinese nationals, Indian, and who be foreigners will come, and they use the advantage of the work permit issue, and many of our citizens are deprived from getting jobs. Another argument is the labor ministry also used that to raise revenue. Was the increment of the work permit fees intended to raise revenue, or what was it intended for?
It was intended to serve as a disincentive to discourage employers from employing more foreign nationals over Liberians, because the labor law is very clear. It was clear then, and it's still in the Decent Work Act, that non-Liberians should not be given work permit for jobs that Liberians are qualified for. So to strengthen that, we increased the work permit fee from $400 to $1,000. And on the day in fact, that's how I convinced the president to approve the regulation number 17. I went to her, I said, Madam President, you said in your inauguration address that under your regime, the children will be running to their father when they are coming and say, Papa, now come. So I said, Papa that come without plastic bag will not get children running to him. There should be plastic bag with some candles inside, and the only way the Papa will come with candles and biscuits is when Papa is working. So there are too many foreigners, store boys, and all the dream jobs that Liberians who even are not skilled can do. Why should that happen? So I want you to approve the increment in work permit fee. And I felt at that time from 400 to 1,000 was such a punitive measure that will discourage employers. So when she approved it and we issue it on the day I was issuing, I say, as long as I remain Minister of Labor, I will increase this work permit fee as once more foreigners keep coming by more than $250 every year. Sadly, since I left 15 years ago, no minister has added 1 cent to it. The employment community is very powerful in the lobby, but they tried and they couldn't get to me. And they said some tried to bring bribery, and the labor said, "What? You come near that man, you go to jail." The man was Solicitor General, so they didn't. But they went to the legislature and the House of Representatives issue a vote of no confidence and send a letter to the president. The president wrote them back and said, she sent a letter to me, and the Minister of Justice at the time, Christian Etta, worked on the letter. And our response was, my minister has violated no law. I still have confidence in him, so he's still my minister. And the suspicion was that those people took money to do it, you know. So my surprise, 2 things. One, that nobody has done anything to discourage foreign employment, and the number has just increased so much, and it's preventing Liberians from getting jobs. Secondly, it will keep going up as long as what is in place now, what was done under CDC remains. Under CDC, there was a company called CITES from Slovenia that was brought to collect the 1,000 and take 40%. And then the Ministry of Labor gets 5%. They call it a revenue enhancement fee or whatever. Under my administration, because the employers, I say, if you get 50 employees this year, foreign employees, you pay 50,000. Next year, you advise yourself because it will eat into your profit to reduce the number maybe to 20. So we have people trained that they have been labor work permit as being in this country for a long time, from the 60s to the 70s. So people are trained. And people are sent to Italy, Turin to get training and all. They are working, they are in the Ministry of Labor. They're the one who are receiving the application, interviewing the people. And once you are qualified for the issue of the work permit, what we used to do, we have an employment department, employment center that had dossiers of CVs. So you come, we send you there to check whether we don't have in our database any Liberian of that qualification before you are issued work permit. So and then because millions of dollars were coming while I was there, the government, through the Ministry of Finance and Central Bank, opened a banking window at the Ministry of Labor. And so people used to go, pay the money at the bank in government account, get the receipt and bring the receipt to the department before their books were issued. Now, that kind of process, why was it outsourced? I just don't understand. Under President Weah, they got that company to take 40%. So whenever you hear the Minister of Labor saying we have collected $1 million, that means somebody got $400,000 for doing nothing. Yeah, $400,000. And as long as they are getting percentage for the number of work permits they issue, it's logical to know that they will be encouraging more non-Liberians to get work permits, because the more work permits they get, the more money they get. Ministry of Labor too is getting 5%. That will not have been on my administration. So Ministry of Labor too will want more non-Liberian employees. You know, they want to issue more work permit, because the more work permit the ministry issue, it gets 5%. So that whole deal should be canceled, and the Ministry of Labor should not be getting 5% because it has now become a revenue source. A cushion for the Ministry of Labor is wrong. You know.
Yeah, so my follow-up question, counsel, is that the side of the argument is that the government, from my understanding, is that they are giving a seating to the labor ministry to raise revenue within the budget. Now, the labor ministry function now is to provide the labor ministry function, as you may be aware, is to provide jobs in the private sector, in the informal sector, and for which it is now becoming a challenge. Now, if you give someone a revenue seating, how do we reconcile that? Is it that we need to have some measures in place at the labor ministry to curtail those things? Because from my understanding is that sometimes they are giving revenue sitting up to 10 million and all of that. And how do they reach the targeted revenue?
It is wrong. That means the government is promoting unemployment in Liberia. That is wrong, and I condemn it right now. And everybody should condemn it. The Ministry of Labor is not a revenue generating entity. We use that a work permit carrying the fee up to serve as a disincentive. It just happened to be that the employers were stubborn and they say, okay, we'll bear the punishment. But that place is not revenue generating. It is there to serve the workers and the employers to ensure there's harmony and to emphasize Liberian interest, Liberianization. That was what I was interested in that place. So no. It is wrong, and the government should not be promoting more work permit and at the same time saying it is seeking Liberian poor interest to get jobs. That's a contradiction.
Thank you, gentlemen. We've exhausted our time. I beg you guys, let's hear from Mark and Mr. Marfa saying, I beg you, let me the question very, very short. Very, very short. Mark Bloom, welcome to the show.
Thank you for the show. And again, I want to say good evening, good morning for your education, good afternoon. Thank you all for always being here to disseminate information that is necessary, not just information, to our people. And we are so happy to also have Councillor Gonglo on our platform this evening. Councillor Gonglo, we want to say thank you for coming. We are encouraged the fact that when you people receive invitation from us, you can also come to make us happy to teach us some of those lessons. All those lessons that our people are supposed to acquire from government and other things. And it's good. We're happy. My question to you is on the issue of the Sasiwu. I served as county inspector in the county. When I took over at the end of 2019, we saw this document from Jackie that restricted everyone to also make themselves clear in Dampley. Apart from Dampley, there were 15 different centers located or that was shown by Ministry of Internal Affairs so that people can go and make themselves clear whenever they are accused traditionally. And the document was signed by those who also attended our workshop at Jackie in Kanto, which Dampley was selected because they have been the odious one here. Because the information was you cannot be a referee and also go and kick the penalty. So since you are a whistleblower, give the benefit of the doubt to the public, let the person go to the Nina area to make his or herself clear. So that's why Dampley was selected. So from 2019 up to now, is it tonight that you're hearing that when people are accused on traditional issue, they can be taken to Dampley so that they can make themselves clear for the world to also buy their idea of being free from those things as their compliant postures?
I'm just hearing this from you. It's really, really bad. It's illegal. It's unconstitutional. That kind of practice should stop immediately. It's not supported by law. It's a country governed by rule of law. Shouldn't be. And that NEMA should not be exclusive. Clearly, the Supreme Court had come out with law. Like I said, I wrote a memorandum for the Ministry of Internal Affairs in 2006, 2007. That 2020 workshop outcome is not supported by law. It's actually approving the violation of the rights of people. It's wrong.
Okay, my second question got to be with the support you are giving in District 5. You are going to District 5 and tour several towns on the basis of people voting for Mandy to be the preferable candidate or the person to lead the people of District 5. Are you telling us because we want women inclusion into the legislature, based on that we should vote for Mandy, or we are voting for Mandy based on her tangibility and other things that she had done for the people prior to her not seeking for power?
Okay, look, especially Booyah. And let me say this, she's competent, she's qualified, I've talked to her, she's intelligent, and that's why you need to be in the legislature to speak for your people, to be in a position to express yourself well, and she does. As a senior police officer, she's a superintendent of police. She works in CID. CSD is where you do investigation and write reports. She worked with the Women and Children Division. She's now with the Corporate Division. I've talked to her. She's very qualified as a teacher. I said so, and I think she's very competent. That's all you need to be a member of the House. You don't need to build schools for people. You don't need to build roads for people. All that one, that's not what you do in the House. You work on budget for those things to happen, and you monitor governance. That's the oversight. And then you introduce laws. So look, people may build road, they are doing fine, but Mandy's deficit should not be because she's not building road. She is competent, she's qualified to represent the people of District 5. And I don't think the people of District 5 consider building anything. Otherwise, they would have elected Tato Wiato a long time ago. Because Tato Wiato built a whole hospital that is treating people. That I saw the hospital yesterday. I said, yeah. These people here don't elect people because of what you do, because nobody in this district has built anything equal to what Dr. Wiato has done. Serving people, pregnant women, all the different things happening there. In fact, at some point, people are going to that place virtually free of charge. So that should not be the condition for election. She's qualified, that's what I can say.
So before I leave you, you and I talked once before. Everyone knows that you're becoming president for the Republic of Liberia, not a bad thing. It could help Liberia in some directions. The couple with holding the rule of law. International contact. But I have a regime that I was working with, and it would piss me a lot when the child is staying with me in the house, and the child come with a betrayal mind, non-compliant postures, while I'm telling the child to do certain things. So we had to go to where we went. So before you think about becoming a president, there are several things that you have seen in the country that you want to put it right, and some of those things that you feel it could help the country, and based on that, you want to also take on the mantle of authority to do the rightful thing or the needful one. Is it tonight that you are hearing that the Ministry of Labor that you once worked can be given a city to be able to raise revenue for government?
No, I've spoken about this, but like I said, that on the platform that we are speaking, not many people will hear the conversation we are keeping. But I've spoken even this morning. I spoke about it on Truth FM, I'm always writing. I'm talking things, anything about Liberia uh, that I think is not good. I always speak about it. No, it's not just tonight.
Oh, okay. Thank you. We can't hold you that long because we always invite you people here after 1 or 2 weeks to also come and provide some education, basic education for our people,
I
so that
love.
some of those things that
I'm a
we need to.
natural. I'm a natural teacher. I teach every day. I love talking. Even a 2 person invite me anywhere, I put it. So I'm available anytime.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for coming.
Mark, let's hear you from you. We go to Mafasin. I beg you, gentlemen, let's be very, very short. The counselor got to go. Even though he's saying he's a natural teacher, he teaches every time, but I think he has been on the road for a long time today, so you need to rest. I beg you guys.
You said who?
TK.
Okay, thank you. Like the moderator said, Uncle Tiawan, you've been here for long. Thank you for the time. I will just double it so you can just explain. Number one, our brother, your brother, Justice Janet won his case. Up to now, the government had not paid him money. He was illegally removed from the bench. I don't know what role have you been playing since you are reaching out to all the people in government to advocate for Janet to get his money. Lastly, I wanted you to rate this current government. What do you say about them? Lastly, the BKS radio that you are on the television now is in the name and honor of one of your brother who worked with the ERW radio as a GEO announcer before, Benjamin Kamoseka. So Benjamin was a GEO announcer at the radio, at ERW radio, and during the Civil War, the people from the other end, how things went. So those are the things I wanted for you to talk about. Justice Janet money that the government should have paid. How far it gone? Have you been reaching out and negotiating on his behalf? And the last thing is for you to rate the current government and what is your intention for 2020?
No, okay, so you put plenty on the table against what the moderator has said. But anyway, let me see what I can hear. First, let me start from the bottom. 2029 is on everybody's mind. I cannot, when I started running, it was to change Liberia's direction. And Liberia's direction has not changed yet. It's going the same direction. It was not for position. I said I'm a transformer, and I want to be a servant of Liberian people to change their direction. That's what I wanted to do. And we are still moving in the same direction. Nothing has changed. For example, and that is one of the things you're talking about. Why are we not complying with the judgment of the ECOWAS Code as the founding member of ECOWAS? The only judgment we are complying with are the Nigerian $500,000 that we took at Yaki. But Janet, Nezedo, several other people. And Janet is even worse. Janet and I are close. I taught him economics in 1982 at the University of Liberia. He's a brother. We meet all the time. Both of us teach at the law school. And we discuss this. Janet, not only did he support President Bouakai, he campaigned in Vonjama. He was a pool watcher. So he's so close, it's like telling a father about his son. And nobody can understand why he was not given position, and his money, that government, even President Bouakai would come and say, we'll be paying you 10,000 every month, a continuity, but so nothing like that has happened. No, I've not discussed that with President Bouakai. I've not been able to meet President Bouakai. It's not easy to see President. I met him only one time, and we were also for quite a while before meeting. That was over in the early stages of the government. But everybody knows, it's so obvious that what they're doing to Justice Janet is so wrong. It is so wrong. And I don't think that anything I can do really to change that situation, really. Because Jana is closer to, at least he had done some things for President Bwaka, campaigning for him, his stature is so high, and all of that. They were in the CPP, he did a lot of work there with the CPP. So politically they work together, and to be betrayed as it's happening is just wrong. It's a betrayal. Now, 2029. So if the Liberian people, there's a political culture here. I ran campaign more than anybody has run campaign in the Liberian history in terms of reaching the people. Everywhere I want to say, you just come in, now your time, that Bwaka and we have time. So I'm listening to Liberian people, and many of them, some of them are beginning to say this is your time. Oh, that the broom time, God walk around with a broom. I'm prepared to work for the Liberian people as a servant any day. I don't have money to give them. I'm not a political investor, but I'm committed to Liberia. And everybody knows it's not doubtful. Just as Honorable Mike Bloom was saying, let me say he's a very respectful young man from Nima when he was a county inspector. We met somewhere, I think, Pipwa. So if somebody tried to disrespect me, he said, look at you. He blasted the person and apologized. So I just want to say this. Now, the other thing about, what the other question? I talk about China, I talk about 2029. What the other? Oh, and let me say about 2029 too. When you come to do a work in that, this government has done some good things. You talk about grading the government. I don't give grade to say 50, 100, and all that. But look, this government has done some good things, but there have been several missteps that make it similar to the past government. One, they on human security and protection of life.
Uncle Tiawo, do you think the mistake came from you rejecting to become the justice minister in the government to advise the president?
No, but I'm not even said before you asking that question. Let me come out. Uh-huh. And then when you hear when Honor President Melvin Early was killed in Tapeta, and they say he shot himself 3 times, he committed suicide by shooting himself 3 times. I live not far from the barracks, Ibiki barracks. Sergeant Madden was on duty and they found him dead with 6 bullets in him, and the army explained that the man committed suicide by shooting himself 6 times. And I've asked all the experts, they say it's not possible. That's one. 2, we are government send a police officer, a police chief back to Sierra Leone in violation of our international obligation to keep people safe when they run away from the government and come here. Under the International Refugee Convention, there's a provision that talks about non-refoulement. You can't send people back. Then this government sent a Guinean back to Guinea, who was afraid running from his country and coming to Liberia. Then we are government did not respect the tenure position. This government too has shown no respect for tenure position. Then all of these household things, MedTech, this sisters, this company I was talking about that is collecting and labor ministry. All these companies that were condemned on a United Party, why is it they bringing all these companies to collect money in Liberian people could do it? The same thing is happening under this government. So yeah, there have been some marginal differences, but the similarities in bad governance are so high, and therefore we have work to do to replace them. CDC and United Party have shown that they cannot deliver Liberia. Look at the salaries. The president pro tem makes higher than the president pro tem of United States. Last year she made $254,000 raw salary, not benefits. I'm speaking on the record. And the president pro tem of United States made $193,000 salary. In your mind, how is it possible for any government official in Liberia to make higher than a government official in the United States holding the same position? The same thing with Speaker. The Speaker in the House of Representatives makes higher than the Speaker in the United States. And so you have all the high salaries. That was my reaction to someone this morning, that the president pro tem say they will make sure that they in fact they you say took money away from the Martinez Center. That's why they're bringing all these fees. You cut down your huge salaries. My last salary in government was $2,123, and I was satisfied with that. I was feeding my family and taking care of extended family and helping people. You can live well on 2009 in Liberia. The astronomical salary that we have in Liberia, that doesn't make sense to me. So it makes 1% of the population making so much money and 99% suffering. So we cannot have unity and general reconciliation or that, because while some people are calling for champagne, majority of the people are calling for copper rice to eat. So 2029, we have to get rid of CDC and Unity Party. We need a third force.
Thank you, Councillor. You've been here tonight for hours. We appreciate you so much for being here tonight. In 30 seconds, we want you to give us your parting comment, but there was this concern about you rejecting the Minister of Justice job. I want you to throw light on that with your parting comment shot.
So I don't know the job, ministerial job that people can be going to assassinate people, going to bring people, going to medicine men to kill people so they can get jobs. Somebody said they didn't want it, then people get angry. I don't understand that. But let me say this. When I met President Barker, I want to advise him with my running mate, and he and the vice president, Jeremiah Kuhn, were there. And I said, I want to advise you. He said, what advice? I said, like, bro, I'm tired of seeing the same faces as ministers. So this recycle ministers mentality, get rid of it. Bring new people. Some of the people who are deputy ministers, honor President Salib or assistant minister that you work with, bring them up. It will encourage young people to work hard because they can be elevated. Don't bring back old ministers into your government. I started with such force. As soon as I finished saying it, I want to make you minister of justice. I said, I did not exclude myself. I was a minister too, but gave opportunity to Dr. Yuri Yakwalo, my running mate. He has a PhD in environmental science, saying to EPA. He said he would do that. He did it. What is wrong with preferring giving chance to young people? That is characteristic of me, selflessness. As a leader, you think about other people, not yourself. And it's groundbreaking for us to be elevating young people. You know, that's why I did it. And I've been supporting the young men since he's been there. And when you support somebody and they come to power, like stuck around like that, now one position to give you. Like Sarah Beslow got that foreign minister position, you get it. The other person, nobody from your party will get similar position. We had an agency. So I was happy that I made a sacrifice for Dr. Yuri Yakmaula, a young man, to go there, and he's doing extremely well. Now, if you were there, if you think that is wrong, then well, I don't apologize for that. I think I did the right thing to give chance to a young man to come up, you know, rather than me who have been in government, who have had several positions in government. And I don't also believe that I have a monopoly of ideas to make the Ministry of Justice work. I told the president, he said, oh, but then recommend someone. I recommended someone. He chose my good friend Tue, and Tue is a very intelligent lawyer, well-educated lawyer. You know, we may not agree on everything, but he's a brilliant lawyer. But
thank you, Councillor. Your party comment now.
We need, like I said the other day, I'm a Christian, many of our Christians, they are Muslims. We're praying every day. President Tobo was a Baptist minister. President Weah was preaching. President Bwaka is a senior deacon at the Effort Baptist. We need policies and practical actions, not just prayers. We need more factories and not fasting. And we need to reduce the salaries of the top people in this country so that at least it will not take a teacher 8 years to make the president pro tem salary or the speaker's salary. That type of disparity between civil servants, you know, police officers, health workers, and teachers does not make sense to me.
Thank you. Thank you so very much for being here tonight, Councillor Gonglo. We hope to have you on a voice of BKS in Bluetooth and this TV platform too, anytime when we have issues for clarification.
We'll celebrate the victory of Mahdi Kima. At that time, I'll come to the show for us to celebrate.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, good. Only time you come back?
That's the next time that I will come back.
Oh,
because the election is next. The next time I'll come back. I will always come back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Yeah, take care. Thank you for the platform. And thank you for the good questions. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, y'all got serious problem. You kept the counselor who have traveled almost 6 hours today for nearly 3 hours on this platform. And my man Shadrach is in the back.
And let me tell you, the people who always put up behind are the people who are loyal to Kun, Mark Bloom, and Shadrach Tugbe. Get what I say. The people who are strong link with Jeremiah Kun are the one that will keep always behind. So just watch them. Mark is a very close compared to Kun, and Shadrach is when they say in.
So the leverage you got have, you get a host, how they call it, authority. You will take all the time, talk, very important question to ask. You will suppress it, time to ask and say no more time. It's good.
No, but why you didn't ask for?
I'm even surprised that he did not even ask me on a raw setup.
We were discussing issue topic by topic, so I don't want to dive into the question of ask when not along with what we were discussing.
Raw sector, we dealt with it very well.
I heard you right. I heard your question, and it was crystal clear. The father, Councillor Gwanglo, will also accept what the president has said. Me and differ with that. We don't take measure just promptly. It's just a clever way of the agriculture minister taking money from Jetty to ensure that Jetty being the loan buyer of raw in this place. I'm saying reality.
Mark,
it's just a clever way. It's just a clever way of taking money from Jetty and suppressing our people for that raw. Why you call processing raw? Define processing raw.
Mark, I beg you, due to time factor, let's hear you on your analysis and your party comment in 1 minute. We'll do that for everybody. After Mark, we'll go to Aloysius, we go to Bobby, and then Shadrach, and Siawiti. Afonso was late today. He said he had an appointment. I don't know with who. I don't know. But Mark, let's hear you.
So thank you, Jim, and thank you to all of the panelists. We are actually receiving the best commendation from our people based on the way we have conducted the show for the past 3 days. While it is true when social oil, we can crash our joke. Dignitaries that we are inviting, the way we presented them over to the public, most people are just testing or calling us on our other private numbers and appreciating us for that. And let's continue. It means we are getting somewhere. You know, I alone could not ask all of the questions, but the issue of the raw setup, John, is a serious thing. You cannot monopolize the purchasing of the raw in this country. Now, we have raw that have been planted by our citizens, the commodores, the farmers, more than even what Firestone had today. Kurupa is already rehabilitating our rubber. All of us on the show, most of us might have been having rubber on the farm. Me, I got rubber in locally, almost 18,000 rubber in locally. I don't care whether you make money or don't make money. We stay young, we'll look for it the other way. But let's know that our people, they post susu at the end of the month with those things. If you monopolize the business, because what they are doing cleverly is just about Jetty alone should buy and add the processing here. Look, the next time, let all of us try, let the commerce minister come on his platform. Those of you in Liberia, take upon yourself to look at those zincs and steroids that the people are selling here. If you put a zinc warhorse, they just get 3 months, it will spoil. Any leverage have been given to certain product. All of those things are affecting our people. Who knows? I mean, last money he told you bought Zinway, they dig one bar Zin. Dig go buy Maroon Zina, he put it what it was. The day he coming down from America to come see the order, the Maroon Zina tend to wear Zin. He will feel bad about the person who built the house for him, but he will not come from the person. So these are similar things that will carry on. Let the raw market be open. It doesn't need to be processed. Anybody who want to fill raw chairs, slippers, and other things, they can also come and open a factory and we have an industry in Liberia. The way we depending on foreign aid always to prop our revenue up, they're not helping us. Because they were talking, when you get sitting to the ministries or you get sitting to the agency to get the money, by the time they get the money from January to July, the rest or any money that they're getting now, it goes to their personal account. That's why our income now growing to reach even 1 billion. But we could grow beyond 1 billion. So we just beg the government, let it think in that direction and see how the unprocessed rubber can also go. One who want to process that and make it out of tire and make it out of slipper, fluma and carry, good. But let the rubber market be open so that our people can get a just benefit of the farm that they are making. 300 now for one person to go on the farm. The people go by 10 before 2 o'clock, they now they coming in time. They will wait and eat in the evening. They eat round 4. They start coming to town. They come and play football.
Thank you.
2 minutes each now.
Thank you.
2 minutes, 30 seconds each.
You know,
the first thing is you will know that I'm from a bigger political party, and when I'm expressing things, I'm the bigger man on the platform. I can even go 3 minutes.
I beg you, women. I can win you a Musa in
Aloysius, let's hear you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for the show. And I think this is one of my my concern on the show. And the person who invited the counselor, they are extremely well. I appreciate that. And the counselor provided the information, authenticating our statement back then. And I think our brother Mark and the rest of those guys who established the Tribal Abuse Center in Nima, I think some of these guys need to be prosecuted. And the untold suffering, this is not a joke. This costs life for people. It's serious. It costs life for people. You cannot put somebody.
You come here to become lawmaker, can't be lawmaker and see whether you can prosecute the witchcraft.
It's frustrating that our government, people that you depend on to protect the citizen, will in turn turn the citizen over to people who will destroy them. This is completely unacceptable. And those centers that were established by Mark and the order are still there as we speak. And I think we need again to invite the police here, the head of police in Nima County, or the justice system. I don't know how the arrangement is like. Let them come here and do something about it, because those areas are still there and operating. And I will speak. They are children. They are minor. They are adult. They are old folks who have some level of mental issue, dementia, and other form of mental illness. They're all there and they're infringing on their rights. And Mike is here. Mike listening to the counselor today. I think he should be embarrassed of what the counselor explained today. And thank you so much. I appreciate the counselor for coming here. There are other issues, even with the land issue that DK brought. Those are some of the main issues in Liberia as well. We got law on the board, but then what is happening in Liberia is the implementation. Should I become lawyer or lawmaker for Liberia? I don't think I'm going to make law. I will only work my oversight to implement those laws we have on the dockets. So thank you so much for this show. And thank you to the entire listener as well.
Thank you. You see the tribe auditi, and I in my preview, my scared of minute. When they show him one county, he will run.
John, the first thing is my brother is saying things that he far away from. Councilor Gonglo knows fully well that Damply, people are taking over in Damply. Don't even say that. Balloon was from Councilor Gonglo's home.
How can a lawmaker, how can a law enforcer be a friend?
Just let hold you there. Bobby, let's hear you on this. We've got out of time. Let's hear you. 1 minute.
All right, gentlemen, thank you for today. It was a very good show with the counselor. He's a learner counselor that everybody want to tap into his knowledge. And he provided a lot of information to us today, and I really appreciate it. I think my frustration and disappointment with most of the government officials in Liberia, even including the counselor himself, is they believe when they are not here, they shouldn't work in the government under anybody to provide the knowledge they have. Councillor Gongo rejected this position probably because he lose election. Like George Weah, when they lose election, they are very angry. The knowledge the old man has, he should have been with those governments and start putting it in place like he did in the previous government. When it doesn't work, they don't accept it, you resign. But when they give you position and then you reject it because it's small, you think it's small, you run for president, that is not. Councillor Gongo should have been one of the best senators for us in Nima County. But again, they don't want to because they want to run for the hair, for president. When they don't get it, then they get angry. But it was a good show. And DK, I think Arvin supposed to talk to you about Saturday appearing, so you guys can confirm it and send me a message so we can work on it as well. Thank you, gentlemen. It was a good show.
Thank you so much. Siawiti, let's hear you. I don't know what happened to Shadrach. He will complain again about me that I took him from the screen while he's on here, and then he keep rolling the roller coaster.
John, people are watching us seeing that man. They can get this city our data there if true not correct. See everything that talk. I mean, give it as a wood to people in our play. You don't want to, you don't want to introduce. I mean, for that play, if it's secure.
Man down there.
Thank you, Junior and fellow panelists. I mean, tonight was actually a rewarding and educated time that we had with the learned counselor and the son of Nima as well. I mean, there were most of our concern, though we could not have the time, his data, not data, but the network was not actually good. It was fluctuating, but it was a good time. And he touched series of issues. And I mean, I follow him for a little while now. He's a principle-minded person who believes in what he stands for. I mean, really from hearing the issue of the executive order, why is June supported or he supported, but he also gave some caveat to that. Because if you sign, for example, I support the executive order, but there are a few concerns that every one of us had. Even the government needs to also look at that. Like even Mark was saying, most time the informal sector is actually challenged, and to create jobs in the informal sector, the government carry a greater responsibility. And how can that be done? It's done through a genuine policy that will not spark up confusion tomorrow. I mean, the executive order is good. We hope to see how the government can also reward the business people. I mean, the brokers, the farmers, and all of that. Because if it will not stagnate, our farmers and our brokers, while it is true, it will also enhance revenue. It will also create, I don't know, in terms of industrialization, how will the government achieve that for now? Because that's why I brought in the issue of disruption. Because right now, if the executive order will also disrupt prices and even the business climate. And, from the rubber sector, I mean, it was good. He was able to lay out his point, and I mean, he
your father doing rubber business or he doing building construction business? Which one your father do?
What triggered the question?
Remember also the other
Yeah,
one.
see, yeah, but you you're not talking about Chinese bathing in there.
No,
Good for.
we got rubber fan, DK.
That is something you are doing. You could not ever go around today. No rule. You move your children how to bring rule. If you can,
I think I see your Koga yesterday. You were praising the man. You didn't say anything. The man here that you want to go after him.
I tell you. I don't say Koga. I say you.
You are not sure. You are not sure. Koga Saturday yesterday. I don't know. Tell him once a boy, it's always a boss. Sorry for disturbing you.
No, I do terrain management. I can just come there. I know how the show went yesterday. And when I came in, I knew exactly what the show was. Because I've been starting the show from the beginning. And then at some point, especially yesterday, I will call maybe 2 minutes left. What do you think I'm going to do?
No. The guest invited you and Ellis specially. You and Ellis were invited by the guest. So the man said you want to talk to your wife now.
Just see how it is. I conclude on why you were saying, man. They asked the man yesterday, who are you now sent to international school? You beg the man not to mention your name.
Who that?
You.
So that point, we also thank the council. I mean,
I think I see you. Yeah, we will meet tomorrow.
Y'all get to our brother.
Yeah, and this week, I mean, it will be a rewarding week because we will have a lot of people coming. And I know tonight we should also do the publicity so that we can get a needed audience too as well. Yeah.
So who we have tomorrow?
Tomorrow we have Arizona Nyan, the head of the CSA, the co-chair of the CSA. Is it CSA or CSO? Sorry.
CSO. Yeah. That you're talking about the minute I'm moving in a position.
Okay, that's why he's coming tomorrow. No, he's still the head of the National Civil Society Council now.
Yes, but for Nima, the minute push the minute carrying all the way back, and they put in and they say you can go nationally and move it.
The local government had what the position of the civil society as well. So I mean, it was a good show. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So Dion, hold on. Dion, 1 second. Seven is up and on. Please, that here for Seven. I hold your phone.
But why are you a problem?
But the internet, this one not on us.
Yeah, but you don't come to me, so why might accuse me?
And we not even see you shaking, Chadwick. Let's
hear you. No problem. Even though. So let me say thanks to everybody. Liberia is also a good country, so internet is going to misbehave. It's good at that.
Can I ask you, because of your time, where is the Sasewu Imbu you are located?
Resources. That's down
so
resources.
It's located in Yao Dample, particularly a town called Kala.
So where are you from?
I'm from Dample. I'm from there.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Thank you very much.
Now the money you used to go to school.
No problem. Anything to live that life instead of studying school.
Now the money you used to send to Ethiopia.
I didn't go to Ethiopia to go to school. So, man, thank you so much. One of the reasons I wanted to ask women to not clarify, but to throw light on this is the session in our society that actually destroyed our country from the beginning, from 1980s up to present, in terms of romance. Like in the light of the late Samuel Kenyan Dole, the Kuyumpa, and Tobo Wensen, with their action when there was rumor in Monrovia in the 80s that there were 4 officers who were in jail to be slaughtered, and the day set to kill them was April 14, 1980. So, in defense of their tribesmen, these 4 officers, they were in protest of no coup d'etat. So it was a Roman. What I'm trying to say is our society based on Romans, and our creative society started with that particular Roman is still continuous in our society today. When people are affiliated with a certain person and they don't want to see other people, they will also get gaps whatsoever. It has become a major issue in our society. So I wanted to ask the old man if he were opportune to have won the election this 2023, or if he wins with ambition to 2039, what can he do to eradicate such deception in our society? But anyway, I now have the opportunity to ask that question. But again, somebody talk about rubber production. No,
you can't blame me again.
So so somebody talk about plantation, about industry to be building Liberia first before they get executive order. Let me tell you, there's a rubber factory in Liberia to produce how do you call it, plastic chairs and other things, the tire. It was built by Sati brother between Bone and Maggie. But because of classroom politics,
Not true.
Chief, the proper intention was to bring out that particular
What's our
factory.
intention now? You say now they're gonna be black when you can't do our intention?
Chief, that's
Intention of reality.
how they put that people place down. It was politics. It was diplomatic politics in basis. So we all pray for the best. The executive order, we pray that it come to fruition, as my brother Bobby said. But I think it was a decision by the president. We should pray for it to come to pass. That's why I was asking Omer how important it is, what weight it has, as compared to legislation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shadrach. Efanso, let's hear you. I know you're very tired today, so.
Shadrach, I'm on the double issue. Then you want me?
I'm not tired. I'm just watching the show. Akim Leso. I don't want to sing 2 minutes song that already sung. So that's why. But anyway, the show was a good show, and
Efanso. Let it make down the double issue before you come up.
I come in. It will be a casual discussion. So the show was a good show, and I appreciate the counselor for coming here. But let me just say this, the trial by Odile that he was mentioning, it was the first time he hear what Mike said. It was the first time hearing it. I feel the counselor was not fair in that direction, because that issue in Banga, the issue in Banga, the counselor was surely aware of it, and everything that happened in Banga, he was aware. But to come back to them and say he's not, even though he's a human advocate, so he had to play that role to not tell the public that he's aware, so that people can say, but which one the role you playing? So yeah, he defended himself that way. But I believe that our tradition have been derailed by the Western culture, and if we continue, it will not be a very good thing for all people. The very Westerner, they bring their tradition to oil, we finish copying them. So they want us to get rid of ours, which I feel not good, because if we say those issues of witchcraft and other things cannot be settled in the court, where do we think it can be settled? Where do we think it can be settled? It will be settled with people who have knowledge of it. I know somebody who was 22 years that took that oath, and the person is now 54 years. 32 years later, the person has not died. No chemical in that thing. When you are the doer of that thing will hold you. 32 years, the person still living in Nima Kante. So all of the things we just say is amazing. The councillor says a bon member. Why you could not discuss any bad thing about bon? But I know. So I had to talk. He said he want to bring trial about the traditional issue. I had to talk it that way. So he's a bon member in Glaze up here there. So why you could not say any bad thing about the bon people? My man, I don't want to say. I from to put I miss it.
Why you're bringing the kind of people there on this show?
Who the people now?
Efanso, you and Shara, we need to call you guys for some counseling.
What did I say?
No, you
don't attack me with somebody man said. I mean say eh.
But what the crown are conveying now? Okay, your poor. Let's discuss it. And on the radio, let's discuss it here now.
You already said it on the radio.
I know.
Why you're attaching to A?
No,
but where I say I was wrong?
No, Shadrach, your counseling is different. Efanso, do you know they get something they call slander that can lead to deformation of character?
My man. The first thing, Efanso, the first thing is the traditional exists.
Okay, let me end the show. I beg you, gentlemen.
Mhm.
It's good being here tonight. We ask all of you to join
I
us tomorrow. And it
deformation
was a
of
good
character. Then he myself go to sing, go down, go eat. Oh, whether in Napa.